9/30/18. You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptalk and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio, WHLM.
In what could be the first of two meetings between these teams this season, it's unbeaten Valley View against unbeaten Berwick tonight here at Crespin Field. Frank, Valley View's offense has averaged over 31 points a game through the first half of the season. Their offense starts up front, where all five linemen returned from last season. Tackle to tackle, they average 250 pounds a man. Is this the best offensive front your team will have faced this season?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, last year, they were a very physical group. They rushed for close to 4,000 yards last year, Jim. I mean, extremely impressive from that standpoint. And then you have every person back. So obviously for Coach Hawanitz to be able to build around something. I mean, they build it around the offensive line because, that group was very integral in their success last year. That's the building block this year, and they've come out this year and have really established themselves as probably one of the premier units of an offensive line in the eastern half of the state.
Seth Vernon was their go-to guy as far as a tailback a year ago. He had a tremendous season. He's graduated. But now Mason Cordish is the tailback. Now, he's not as big as Vernon. What are his strengths?
Well, you see a different running style than the young man had last year, Jim. I mean, Vernon was, like a track person. I mean, straight ahead speed. Cordish, he's got great body control where he's able to avoid contact, where you'll see him, defense is coming at him and he's able to turn his shoulders and he makes himself skinny a little bit, and a person just grazes off of him, and then he finishes his runs extremely well with good pad level. So very unique running style with the way that he's able to contort his upper body to avoid contact. And, he had a lot of experience last year. I mean, Vernon was the number one back, but, they sort of had a committee in there a little bit as the season wore on, and he got a lot of significant carries last year, so he's experienced as well.
Well, last season, Janisaw Boone was a backup tailback and a starting safety. Now he's the starting quarterback. What does he bring to the table?
Probably the most dual threat young man that we've seen at this point. Extremely good last year. He was one of the running backs also, so as a runner, he's a significant threat. Keeping plays alive. One of the things that's been most impressive about him at this point, Jim, is his ability to keep plays alive. And when he rolls to his right, and most of their pass game that you're going to see tonight is when he's doing something to his right. We've got to do a great job of keeping the quarterback where we want him. We would much rather him be at 5 or 6 yards right behind the center and keep him there, because that's where he has to be a very accurate passer and he's not able to use his legs. If we're able to do that as well as stop the run, our defense has a chance to play very well.
Coach Hawanitz told me that he considers his team to be more balanced this year, but still are not throwing a lot of passes, less than 9 a game. They like to run the ball behind that great offensive front that we talked about. Your front four has been terrific. Is that the key matchup in tonight's game?
Well, I definitely think you're going to see, two tremendous units go at it there. And I think whenever you have that, they sort of, cancel each other out to a certain degree. I think it's the other portions, Jim, like how does our offensive line play? Younger offensive line against their younger defensive line. Who's able to create, some plays in the pass game where, you're getting some explosion plays. One of the differences in their game with Scranton Prep this year, Jim, is that they were able to create, I'll say, 6 explosion plays that really separated the game, where they got big plays and they got scores, and all of a sudden, they're up on Scranton Prep 21-6. And their defense is pretty strong also, so it's hard to come back for that. So it's the team that is able to control the big plays as well as, win those other battles where it's probably a 50-50 deal.
Up next, Frank will tell us about Valley View's defense. You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show on Sports Radio WHLM.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 XL Sport for just $379 a month, or 0% financing on all Ford SUVs. At Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln, Route 11 Berwick.
Leases 10,500 miles per year for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Call 877-788-6045 for lease details. Offer expires 9/30/18. Local is important when it comes to a lot of things, but especially when it comes to your insurance. At Hartman and Lally, you're dealing with local people shopping for the best coverage and the best premiums available. You can do that when you're not locked into one company. Call Hartman and Lally today, 752-3688 for your business insurance quote. Let them do the shopping for you to find the right coverage at the right price. Hartman and Lally Insurers, 726 West Front Street, Berwick. HartmanandLallyInsurers.com.
Your debit card purchases are personal.
I'll have a soy latte with 2 sugars, please.
Yeah, I'd like a turkey on rye with lettuce. Hold the mayo.
Can I get that in magenta, size medium?
Your debit card should be just as personal. With First Columbia Bank's new Design It Photo Card feature, you can customize your debit card to look just the way you want. Upload your favorite photo or choose from a gallery of photos and designs to order up a debit card that is just as personal as your purchases. Details at firstcolumbiabank.com.
First Columbia Bank.
You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptalk and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio, WHLM.
Tonight, here at Crispin Field, a matchup of unbeaten teams, Berwick and Valley View. It's the 10th meeting between the teams, but the first time it's occurred in a regular season. Frank, Valley View still going with that 4-3. Will we see any variation from that?
They get in a little bit of a three-man front in long yardage situations, Jim. They did that last year as well. Last year in the district championship game, they ended up playing more of a 3-3 stack, their own kind of 3-3 stack, not like Sealands Grove, but nonetheless, their version of it. So, we got to prepare for multiple fronts. They're doing a lot of blitzing this year, probably a little bit more than they were doing last year. They're trying to highlight, Trayon Jones coming off the corner. He's created a lot of tackles for losses and pressure on the quarterback and creating havoc in the run game. We got to account for him pretty much on a daily play or a daily basis, in practice and then obviously tonight every play. In the secondary, they play very strong. I mean, they're an experienced group. That's where I think the strength of their defense is. They run to the ball. I think this is, a very fundamentally sound, very aggressive, where they make you earn every yard.
You mentioned Trayon Jones, number 20. He's a 5'8", 175-pound senior who you say does most of their blitzing. So is that on Alex Forrest to see where he is before the play?
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, the offense just in general has to have an awareness of where number 20 is because he does do so much of, creating perimeter pressure. And, it's sort of an interesting way that he goes about it because he gets aligned and there's times where he's almost like crawling into his, particular alignment to blitz. So I don't know if he's trying to hide or, but it's been very challenging throughout the course of the week of having us understand where is 20, where is the blitz coming from. And if the kids are able to understand that, I think that'll very much help us. But Alex will do a great job of pointing things out, and that's, again, where you have a senior quarterback. And one of the things about Alex I think that goes unnoticed is every game that he's started and finished, we've won. Since Jared went out last year. So the young man has a lot of confidence. The offensive line has a lot of confidence in him. And we need to have balance ourselves on offense tonight to keep the Valley View defense off kilter a little bit because if they get dialed into one area, they could be very strong.
Frank, you and your team have had a lot of time to reflect on that tough double overtime loss to Valley View in the district final last year. Obviously, the loss itself is disappointing to you. But what aspect of the game disappointed? What occurred that you said, boy, we have to get better in that area next year?
Well, there's no doubt about it that, it's the same problem that we just talked about as we opened the show. You said 9 fumbles, 5 turnovers. And in the district championship game, we had 4 turnovers. One on a drive where we're moving the ball and we have momentum and we turn the ball over on the 35-yard line going in on the second half, we hit Alex Parks, great catch down the middle, and, unfortunately we put the ball on the ground, turn it over on the 12-yard line, interception where they get it and it's at the 12, so it's those things. Those were momentum changers for us, and that's where, we need to do a better job today of, securing the football, winning the turnover battle, and we got to battle to win the kick game. Their kickoff person is outstanding, so, just like we had the pleasure of the last 2 years, and Jared Groshek's doing a great job where we're starting defense with their offense inside the 20-yard line. Their kickers creating a lot of that. So we've got to find a way to create some field position and obviously secure the football.
Should be really exciting. Battle of Unbeatens. Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you, Jim.
Join us again next Friday before the game at Hazleton area for another edition of the Coach Shep Talk Show. Stay tuned now for Valley View at Berwick football coming up on Sports Radio WHLN.
You've been listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show on Sports Radio WHLN. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Yannick Real Estate, Commercial and Residential. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. Hartman and Lally Insurers, Front Street in Berwick. Welch's Towing and Repair, Towing, Recovery, and Lockout Service. S.J. Kowalski, Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln in Berwick. Make your drive a Ken Pollock Ford or Lincoln. And by your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Now, stay tuned for Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptalk. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
It's Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Berwick Dental Arts, quality care for your dental health. Neighbor Fence Company, residential and commercial fencing. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Route 11 in Danville for the best price and hometown value. First Keystone Community Bank, yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's vision. Mayo Funeral Home of Berwick and Chickashinny. The law offices of Lutz and Petty, protecting you. Welch's Towing and Repair, Towing, Recovery, and Lockout Services. Riverview Block Inc. of Berwick. Yannick Real Estate, Commercial and Residential. Hartman and Lally Insurers, Front Street in Berwick. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. S.J. Kowalski, Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln in Berwick. Make your drive at Ken Pollock Ford or Lincoln. Chrysler and Quaker attorneys at law. Your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Steph Subs, lunch, dinner, or anything in between. Gebhardt's Billiards and Bowling Supplies, Monday Street, Wilkes-Barre. And by Alexander Family Dealership, Central Road in Bloomsburg. Now with Andy Ulickney, here's the Dean of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio WHLM.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight from Crispin Field in Berwick, it's the Bulldogs against the Cougars of Valley View High School. I am Jim Doyle along with Andy Lickney. The producer for tonight's broadcast is Raven Klein. Well, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of high school football games going on across the great state of Pennsylvania this evening, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better matchup than the one we have right here at Crispin Field. Berwick 5-0, Valley View 5-0. And a rematch of the District 2 Quad A championship game of last year, played right here when it was tied after 4 quarters, tied after 1 overtime, and Valley View emerging with the win 24-17 in double overtime. Valley View returns a lot of starters from that team that won the district championship, including all 5 of their offensive linemen. All those starters are back. They figured to be very good this season, and they have been. They are 5-0, as I mentioned. They have wins over Wallenpaupack, Abington Heights, West Scranton, Scranton Pep, and Honesdale, averaging 31.4 points per game and giving up only 10 points a game. For the Bulldogs, they have been extremely dominant on the season. They are also 5-0. They've won their games handily over Abington Heights, Pittston area, Williamsport, Wyoming Valley West, and Selinsgrove. They are averaging just under 40 points a game, giving up 9.6 a game. And the most impressive thing of Berwick has been their defense, particularly their defense against the run. 47.3 yards a game given up to the opposition. And that'll be a great matchup here tonight because Valley View runs the ball very, very effectively. What's at stake in this game? Well, both teams would like to be the home team when the District 2 Quad A playoffs begin, and they'd like to be the number 1 seed, which would mean they would possibly be home for 3 home games. It didn't work out for Berwick last year, but they still would like that situation. Right now, the points in District 2 Quad A have Dallas in first, Berwick in second, and Valley View in third. However, the Bulldogs still have to play Valley View tonight and Dallas. Valley View plays Berwick this evening, and they will have Dallas along the way. So that top seed will be decided on the field, as it should be. Gorgeous night for high school football. Temps in the low 60s as we get set for the 10th meeting between Berwick and Valley View, but the first time these teams are meeting in a regular season game. Those previous 9 meetings all in the postseason. Andy Lickney with us for Berwick football tonight. Andy, a lot of great matchups along the way, the games within the game, but the one that is really intriguing, this great offensive line for the Cougars who like to run the football against a dominant defensive line for Berwick.
I agree, Jim. I think it's one of the matchups that's going to determine who wins. Valley View has every starter returning. They average 250 pounds a man, and they're playing with a vengeance. They want to make it happen again. Now, they're seeing different personnel from Berwick this year. In fact, I think it's a bit of an all-star defensive front. I can't think of many high school players that I would trade to replace any one of these 4 in all the years I've done football. Mason Lawbaugh and Eric Montez at the ends, J.J. Snyder and Ben Peck, and then, of course, the linebackers behind them. And behind that, the safety and Teagan Wilk. It's like an all-star team. So, it's billed that way, but this will be Berwick's biggest challenge. We'll see how they do come up and if they can stop this incredibly tough Valley View Cougar team.
I don't think there's any doubt that Berwick can stop their running game, their set running game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the running quarterback, Janasa Boone, last year we saw him as a backup running back and a starting safety. He is now the quarterback for this team. He's averaging over 6.8 yards a carry on his rushing. That scares coaches.
Yeah.
You can stop the basic run, but when you get that quarterback scrambling, all bets are off.
Yeah, but they know his tendencies, and they know when he likes to run. He particularly likes to run when he rolls to his right. So whether it's a roll to the right and pass, or whether it's a roll to the right and run by design. And Berwick's going to be very aware of their personnel on that side of the field. They're going to keep their eye close on the quarterback. I agree, they can stop a strong standard running team. It's that element of the running quarterback that always provides a problem for any defense. And Janasa Boone is a special talent. 260 yards rushing on the season. You mentioned 6.8 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns. He can beat you with the explosive play, but he's not going to do it by surprising Berwick. They have a lot of plans on their perimeter where defensive ends are going to play a contain. Outside linebackers are going to be very aware when they're on his right side, their left. And, I think the defense is pretty much stacked to try to take that element of the game away. Hard to do, but Berwick is anticipating it.
This is not going to be a game, in all likelihood, with a lot of passes. But last year, Valley View beat Berwick in a game in which they completed 1 pass for 3 yards. They will need more. Berwick will need some, too.
Yeah, and I think there's talent. Both quarterbacks are capable passers, but again, usually passing when teams are expecting to run, usually working off play action. They both have solid cores of receivers. So I think there will be passing. So it does come down to then, too, who might have the better pass defense. I've been impressed with Berwick's pass defense throughout. They have Teagan Wilk who can take the ball away. We've yet to see what Valley View can do against a strong passing team, and I think Alex Forrest is up to the challenge. He's never really lost a game that he started, except one where he got hurt, and they were leading that one at halftime.
That was the Selinsgrove game last year. He missed the whole second half. Berwick was up 6-3 at the half. Otherwise, these all wins, and we talked about Boone's running. How about Alex Forrest? That's a feature.
It certainly is a feature. People forget about him. 194 yards, averages 7.5 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns, and he gives you the explosive play. You're more likely to get it out of him than, say, out of an Owen Shoemaker who's going to pound and pound and pound and occasionally gouge and get a big play. But when you're keying so much on stopping an Owen Shoemaker, who you mentioned had just about 700 yards on the season, Alex Forrest pulling it out of the belly very deftly with his good fakes and then using his surprising speed on the outside has certainly been a factor on the course of the season. That said, Valley View's seen the films. They know what to expect. But again, how do you stop both? That's a challenge.
And we'll be by later with the keys to tonight's game. When we return, we'll hear from George Hawanis, the head coach of the Cougars of Valley View High School. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Harry's Sporting Goods, a staple in downtown Berwick, in business for over 125 years. Harry's Sporting Goods carries a wide variety of sneakers and cleats, now featuring Brooks running shoes. Harry specializes in sneakers and seasonal sporting goods, but also carries work boots and name brands including Nike and Under Armour. Harry's Sporting Goods, keeping the tradition alive while keeping up in the new era. Visit them on Facebook or on West Front Street in Berwick. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Proud to support area sports teams.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Worried about maintaining your financial security? Concerned about the cost of living in a nursing home? Want to ensure your family is provided for after you're gone? As the only certified elder law attorneys in Columbia and Montour counties, attorneys Marianne Kreischer and Marissa Marshall will help you make important decisions about your estate, assets, and long-term goals with confidence. Let attorneys Marianne Kreischer and Marissa Marshall help you and your loved ones find the peace of mind you deserve. Call the law offices of Kreischer and Gregorovich today at 784-5211. And schedule your appointment.
Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, or SUV, or just looking to sell, we really want to buy. All this month, we'll give you over $500 of the Kelley Blue Book value. And we'll buy your trade for cash. And we'll buy it even if you don't buy from us. Get an 18 GMC Terrain all-wheel drive for just $27,188. Or an Acadia all-wheel drive for only $32,588. Get a GMC Sierra 1500 double cab, only $37,388. At Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
We are halfway through the regular season for this 2018 campaign, and Berwick and Valley View still without a loss. They meet here tonight at Crispin Field. Valley View has 14 starters back from last year's District 2 Quad A championship team. One starter they had to replace was last year's starting quarterback Chandler Fuller. Janasa Boone was the running back and a starting safety last season. He's now the quarterback, and his head coach George Wanitz tells us how he's adapting to his new position.
I think he's still in a little bit of a learning curve. You know, he hasn't played quarterback at all. This is kind of his first year playing, so he's gotten a little better each week for us. I thought he's done a really nice job throwing the ball and also running the ball. Last week he rushed for 140 yards and threw for 140. So, you know, we're excited. Things he can do. We think he's a really good playmaker, and, you know, we just hope he'll keep improving each week.
Your team has been good on both sides of the football. What would you describe as your strength on defense?
I don't know. I just think we get a lot of guys to the ball. I think our kids have bought into our scheme and what we've been doing the last couple of years. So, you know, they don't try to do too much. They do just what their job is, and you know, allow the other 10 guys each play to do their job, and I think that's allowed us to kind of minimize mistakes, and you know, we've gotten a lot of turnovers the last couple of weeks, which we hope we'll continue to do, and you know, if you can do that in high school, I think you have a good chance to win a lot of football games.
Your team ran the ball effectively against Berwick in the district championship game last year. Berwick this season has been terrific defensively against the run. Is that the big key in this game?
I don't know. I think we're much more balanced this year than we were last year. I think we're able to throw the ball a little more than we were, and you know, I think they're very good up front. I think their defensive line is better than they were last year, and their linebackers do a really good job of getting to the ball, and their secondary guys, I think, will be the best cover guys we've seen. So, you know, I just think, you know, it comes down to we have 5 starters back in our offensive line, and I hope they can, you know, move them a little bit to be able to run the ball and protect us enough to be able to throw the ball a little more than we did last year.
What are your concerns about Berwick's offense?
Yeah, they're multiple. I think they're tough. You know, they're tough to kind of defend because you don't know, you know, who's going to get the ball at what time, and you know, they throw the ball fairly effectively, and you know, their tailback is excellent. He ran well against us last year, and I think you have to find number 7 all the time. He's all over the place and lines up in different spots. So, you know, they just give you a lot to defend. They give you a lot to think about. They give you a lot to line up against, and you know, they don't give you a lot of tendencies. You're kind of guessing each play to see what they'll run, and We still think though at the end of the day, obviously they want to run the ball. They're very effective running the ball, and hopefully we'll be able to stop that.
Valley View head coach George Hawanitz played at Valley View, 1993 grad. He was part of that state championship team in Class AA in 1992. He played for the great Frank Pizzalia and succeeded him later as head coach. George now in his 12th season as the head man, 72 wins, 57 losses, his career mark. You're listening to the Halftime Show, brought to you by the Law Offices of Lutz and Petty. When we return, we'll check the starting lineup for Valley View. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Harry's Sporting Goods, a staple in downtown Berwick, in business for over 125 years. Harry's Sporting Goods carries a wide variety of sneakers and cleats, now featuring Brooks running shoes. Harry specializes in sneakers and seasonal sporting goods, but also carries work boots and name brands including Nike and Under Armour. Harry's Sporting Goods, keeping the tradition alive while keeping up in the new era. Visit them on Facebook or on West Front Street in Berwick. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Proud to support area sports teams.
Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, or SUV, or just looking to sell, we really want to buy. All this month, we'll give you over $500 of the Kelley Blue Book value, and we'll buy your trade for cash. And we'll buy it even if you don't buy from us. Get an 18 GMC Terrain all-wheel drive for just $27,188, or an Acadia all-wheel drive for only $32,588. Get a GMC Sierra 1500 double cab, only $37,388 at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. We're taking deals the other guys won't.
Kreischer and Gregorovich is a law practice in Bloomsburg. It has represented families and businesses for more than 40 years. Kreischer takes pride in being awarded a distinguished rating for legal expertise and ethical standards. Their fees are reasonable, and their commitment to clients is personal, sincere, and effective. Whether it's a matter involving real estate, divorce, custody, adoption, criminal defense, personal injury, or bankruptcy, you can depend on Kreischer and Gregorovich. Call today for an appointment with one of their 4 attorneys at 784-5211.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
The crowd gathering tonight here at Crispin Field, as you might expect for this battle of unbeaten. Valley View against Berwick. Good following from Valley View. A lot of blue and gold in the stands across from us as John Obringer and his Berwick High School marching band entertaining before this one. Here's the starting lineup offensively for the Cougars of Valley View. At the tight end, we'll see number 3, Dylan Hawanitz, the son of head coach George Hawanitz. Dylan is a 6'2", 180-pound junior. 5 catches on the season for 87 yards and a touchdown. We'll also see Kyler Rosina, number 1. He is a 6', 225-pound junior. Johnny Snippets is the starting left tackle. He wears number 56. 6'3", 265 pounds, a junior. E.J. Alco is the starting left guard, number 62, 5'11", 240, a senior. Another senior starts at the center spot. He wears number 57. His name is Connor Judge. He's 5'10", 220 pounds. The right guard is Mike Sebastianelli, number 77, 6', 250, a senior. And another senior at the right tackle, number 55, the big guy, Brian Durkin, 6'4", 275 pounds. At the wide receiver positions, we'll see Zach Kowalczyk, a 6'1", 170-pound sophomore. Only 5 receptions so far this season, but averaging 34.6 yards reception. 3 touchdown grabs for Kowalczyk. Also number 9, Alex Savkov, a 5'11", 170-pound junior. 6 receptions for 88 yards. And Jaden Duplessis, a 6'1", 175-pound senior. 3 catches for 35 yards and a score. The quarterback, Janasa Boone, 6', 185, a junior. Completed 50% of his passes so far. This is a team that does not throw a lot, but they've had some big plays. Only 19 for 38 so far. That means he's averaging under 9 passes a game. But for 425 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also a very effective runner, 260 yards and 8 touchdowns, averaging 6.8 yards a carry. The leading rusher on this team is the tailback, number 34, Mason Cordish. He's 5'10", 165, a senior. Last year he had 16 carries against Berwick for 57 yards in that district championship game. So far this season, 593 yards and 4 touchdowns. So this team runs the ball well. Cordish, like Boone, averages 6.8 yards a carry. At the fullback, number 8, T.J. Noto. He's a 5'11", 205-pound sophomore, averaging 6.3 yards a carry, 13 attempts, 83 yards. That is the starting lineup offensively for the Cougars of Valley View. They average 31.4 points a game in their 5 wins to date. 249 yards rushing, 107 yards passing. Total offense, 356 yards a game. As I mentioned, defensively, very, very tough as well, giving up only 10 points per game. We'll check the starters for the Bulldogs when we return. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio, WHLM.
Hi, everyone. You can buy a new vehicle anywhere, but Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has won the prestigious Customer First Award 2 years in a row. Why? Because we have the best prices and the very best customer service in the area. During Ram Power Days, you can get over $15,000 in total values on select new 2018 Ram 1500s. You heard me right, over $15,000. Or lease a 4x4 Ram Express for just $149 a month. We are your Ram headquarters with over 100 Rams available. It's also Jeep Adventure Days, so you can save thousands on that new Jeep you've been thinking about. Lease a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $249 a month. The model year-end sale going on now at Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 2 locations, Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. And as always, it's Fairfield for the best deals.
Leases are for 24 and 36 months. $29.99 to assigning, 0 security deposit. Offer ends October 1st. See dealer for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience for you or a loved one.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick,
HLM.
Weekend number 6 of high school football's regular season kicking off here at Creston Field with a battle of unbeaten Valley View against Berwick. Here's the starting lineup offensively for the Bulldogs. At the tight end, see number 90, Will Decker. He's a 6'2", 212-pound senior. At times, we'll also see number 9, Blaine Cleaver, a 6'2", 190-pound sophomore. Anthony Sisko starts at the left tackle. He's 6', 201, a junior. At the left guard, number 60, Sully Slavinsky, 6'1", 237, a junior. We'll also see number 70, Justin Eckert, before the night's out. He's 6'2", 297, a senior. The starting center is number 52, Aaron Cashman, a 5'10", 254-pound junior. Noah Craig starts at right guard. He's 5'11", 256 pounds, a junior. Mike Zalutko starts at right tackle, 6'1", 236, a junior. So while there are 4 seniors along the front for Valley View, offensively for the Bulldogs along that front, there are no senior starters. At the wide receiver spots, number 7, Tegan Wilk. He's the leading receiver. Tegan is 5'10", 181, a junior, 13 receptions on the season for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's also run the ball 10 times for 95 yards and an additional 3 touchdowns. Alex Sharkuski, another wide receiver, number 5, 5'10", 174, a senior, 6 catches on the season for 121 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown coming last week at Selinsgrove. The quarterback is number 2, Alex Force. The Bulldogs have never lost a game in which he started and finished. We pointed out earlier that last year here against Selinsgrove, he suffered an injury in the first half, didn't play the second half. Bulldogs had the lead 6-3 at the break, but ended up losing that one 17-6. So he's been very, very effective as a starter. This season, completing 48.3% of his passes for 452 yards, 6 touchdown passes to 3 interceptions. And he's also a very effective runner as a quarterback, 194 yards rushing. He's averaging 7.5 yards carry and 4 touchdowns. The leading rusher on this team is number 39, Owen Shoemaker, a 5'9", 201-pound senior, averaging 7 yards a carry, 694 yards, and 8 touchdowns on 99 attempts for Owen Shoemaker. Bulldogs will also employ a couple of youngsters at that running back spot. Number 25, Blake Maurer, 5'8", 157, a sophomore, 10 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. He's also caught 3 passes, 2 of them for touchdowns. And the talented freshman Aiden Mason, who's 5'10", 181 pounds, 22 carries on the season for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. When the Bulldogs do employ a fullback, we could see a number of people, including number 44, Joe Lynn, a 5'10", 191-pound senior, 36, Dallas Schechterly, 5'11", 198-pound junior, or even number 1, Mason Lawbaugh, 6'2", 236-pound sophomore. That is the starting lineup offensively for the Bulldogs under Frank Sheptock, now in his 3rd season as head coach. His career mark at Berwick, 23-8. His Bulldogs come into this one 5-0. Offensively, averaging 36.4 points per game. Heavy in the rush, 239.2 yards rushing a game to 90.4 passing. Very similar numbers, although to Valley View, 329.6 total yards. The only like opponent, for what it's worth, is Abington Heights, and it's worth nothing because Berwick beat them 42-0 and Valley View beat them 42-0. So that's how close these teams are. Berwick against Valley View, keys to tonight's game. Andy Lichten.
Well, I think the key, Berwick's looking at playing somewhat of a mirror of themselves. They're looking at a strong running game, a team that doesn't have to pass a whole lot, the effectiveness of a running quarterback, strong defense, and solid specialty team play. So I think the keys end up being the same for both teams. First of all, stop the run, and I think both will. I think the defenses are going to neutralize the other team's running game because it'll be a focus. Valley View has a great offensive line, and Mason Cordish has fine numbers on the season, but Berwick has an outstanding front 4, aggressive linebackers, and I think it'll be Berwick's biggest challenge of the season. And I don't know if Valley View with that front 5 can still move the ball effectively. I think it's going to be neutralized. Flip it around, Owen Shoemaker normally can run on anybody. But again, Valley View's very strong on that side. I just see both teams kind of washing out. I see a lot of punting in the course of this game as teams try to establish the run and then, pretty much neutralize each other. I mean, each team will get a gouge play here and there. They'll break something for 15 or 20, but I don't see teams driving primarily on the ground because I think the defenses are going to be too strong and too focused on stopping the running game. So then you look at the passing. Again, both teams can pass very confidently. The numbers are rather pedestrian, but these teams haven't had to pass. They have solid passers, Berwick and Alex Spores, and Valley View and Janasa Boone. They have nice receivers, and they can get it out there. But again, if neither team can run effectively, play action won't be as effective, and I think the defense is coming at quarterbacks, causing pressure, sort of destroy things and throw it off. Plus the secondaries are both very, very good. So I don't see an edge either way. Again, I see the defense is kind of neutralizing the passing threat. So if you take away who has the better runner, who has the better passer, who has the edge, then what are you left with? Well, I look at 3 things. The differences as to who wins this game. Number 1, mistakes. Berwick has suffered turnovers. They've suffered a plethora of turnovers, too many, and penalties. They can't do that against a good team, and Valley View can't suffer them either. So I think whoever wins the turnover battle may very well win this game. Number 2, the difference maker, the specialty team play. Both teams have excellent kickers. I think we're going to see some kicking deep and kicking for touchbacks on into the end zone. Cam Chakotay is very, very good. They're not going to avoid kicking deep to Berwick because they feel they can get the touchback. And that'll give them great field position on the 20-yard line. Berwick has fine coverage, and they've been pinning teams inside the 20, 25-yard line most of the season as well. I think the game's going to be close enough where a field goal or an extra point wins it, and both of these kickers have the talent to make those game-winning kicks. So specialists certainly do come in. And then the last factor, Jim, we talked about it in the opening, the running of the quarterbacks. Both teams have dangerous quarterbacks who can keep things going, whether it's by a design run or better by the impromptu run. Janessa Boone is known for his ability to run with the football, 260 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns, 6.8 yards a carry. But he has tendencies. He likes to roll to his right and run in that direction, and Berwick's very aware of that. And again, with all the game planning and other things and being neutralized, I think you give that a lot of attention. You force your defensive end to contain. You force your outside linebacker to contain. You mix it up with a variety of different schemes being called defensively so that Valley View's not sure who has that contained. And I'll tell you what, Berwick's going to be sure who has that contained, and they want to keep where Janessa Boone is not the person who beats them in this game. Flip it over. Alex Forrest could run every bit as dangerously. Berwick has it in by design. They've been running some option. I'm not sure if it's always reading the option or if it's a designated option, and there's even the pitch to it. But Alex Forrest on the corner has outstanding speed, and he can be a game breaker. So, again, miscues, turnovers, and penalties, that's a difference maker in this one as to who wins. Specialty team play with the kickers in particular, being able to show what they can do could be the difference maker. And I think the running quarterback is going to be the one that decides it. Boy, if not, Jim, we might be looking at overtime again. This one's tight.
Valley View has made their appearance on the far side of the field. As I mentioned earlier, great crowd from their place has come down to Crispin Field to watch this one. Cougars wearing their white jerseys, gold pants, blue numerals, blue helmets, and trim. Andy mentioned special teams. Prior to last week, I would have said Berwick would have an edge in that department against any team, but the return game was an absolute disaster at Seal Grove.
Strange weather conditions, Jim. You know, it was sort of misty and a little drizzly, and it was a breeze that didn't really seem like a breeze on the field. But I remember Frank Sheptock running off the field as I was walking on. He says, this breeze can be a problem. And I'm thinking, I don't think so. Well, he was right. He was right. It would either push it a little further or it would catch it in the air and stop it from getting there. So punt returners in particular get to where they think the ball's going to come, and poof, that wind just blows it a foot or two short of that, and they're just kind of reaching. And that's not the way that you can safely field a punt. In fact, by the end of the night, Berwick gave up on trying to catch them. Those conditions aren't in play tonight.
I think Valley View has an interesting situation because we've been told they have a kicker who's very, very good in Cam Chakotay, and he can, on occasion, reach the end zone. But if you try to do that and you come up short, Berwick has 3 dynamic return people back, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about things.
Yeah, and I think they're very aware of that. I've even mentioned to the coaching staff when we learned how to say Chakotay's name, are you going to kick him deep? And they look, kind of roll their eyes. They feel that he can get the touchback rather routinely, and that the risk of coming up short and needing to, stop these other dangerous return people is a risk they're probably going to be willing to take. If you can get it into the end zone, and even if the guy catches it and backs into the end zone, it's a touchback, you're starting on the 20-yard line, and that's a huge difference in field position and probably a risk I'd be willing to take even against Berwick's dangerous return men.
Well, Aiden Mason averages 61 yards a return, and Keegan Wilk averages 41. So that is a risk as Berwick makes their way on this, the near side of the field. Bulldogs with their blue jerseys, white pants, white numerals, white helmets, the blue paw on those helmets. We're just a couple of minutes away from the kickoff to start this one. As I mentioned earlier, it is the first time these teams have met during the regular season. 10th meeting overall. Berwick leads the series 5-4, but Valley View has won the last 3. They won in 1999 in the District 2 playoffs. They won in an Eastern Conference final in 2010, and of course last year in the District 2 Quad A championship game right here at Crispin Field. They beat the Bulldogs 24-17.
Big game pulls out the big dogs to officiate. Referee is going to be Chuck Supon for this. Eve Austin is the rules interpreter. Good to see him. Bob Jones is the umpire. Hayden White, the linesman. Ray Bonton is the line judge. And then two more people in the secondary. Jerry Murray is field judge. Side judge is Tim Lavelle. A good crew of officials. I was talking rules with them, trying to straighten some of my knowledge of the game out.
Well, Andy mentioned the kickoff situation, the possibility of touchbacks with a strong foot on the part of the Valley View kicker. And if you're not aware of it, in a rule that I never quite understood, on the high school level, you cannot return a kick from the end zone. So it is a touchback. So even if Tegan Wilk or Aiden Mason, those great returners, would field it 1 yard deep, they cannot return it. It would be at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Chuck Supon and the crew. I said, we forget. Yeah, it's not that often you see a touchback in high school football, so it's sort of out of our mind. We're used to doing college games where they can run it out, and often do, where touchbacks are more prevalent. So when we saw a touchback last week, I believe it was, and all of a sudden it's being waved as a touchback, it startles us a little bit. You forget about the uniqueness, and I think it's something that's going to come into play in this one as we look at the kickers on both teams, in particular that dangerous foot of Cam Chakotay.
Berwick won the toss, deferred to the second half, so that Bulldog defense, which has been outstanding, will be on the field first when we kick it off. We'll do that when we return. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Local is important when it comes to a lot of things, but especially when it comes to your insurance. At Hartman & Lally, you're dealing with local people shopping for the best coverage and the best premiums available. You can do that when you're not locked into one company. Call Hartman & Lally today, 752-3688 for your business insurance quote. Let them do the shopping for you to find the right coverage at the right price. Hartman & Lally Insurers, 726 West Front Street, Berwick. HartmanandLallyInsurers.com.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 XL Sport for just $379 a month, or 0% financing on all Ford SUVs. At Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln, Route 11 Berwick.
Lease is 10,500 miles per year for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Call 877-788-6045 for lease details. Offer expires 9/30/18. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Rinnai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptalk. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Berwick Choral Group, the Modernaires. Their version of our national anthem prior to high school football tonight. This matchup of unbeaten teams, Berwick against Valley View. Bulldogs on the road next week at Hazleton. We'll be keeping up on the Cougars of Hazleton and their game tonight against Delaware Valley. And of course, I mentioned earlier, Dallas, number one in the ratings points right now in District 2 Quad A. They'll be at home against Coughlin tonight. We'll keep you up on that one as well. Of course, Dallas will be here at Crispin Field in a couple of weeks, and Dallas also will be playing Valley View. So whoever gets that number 1 seed, that coveted number 1 seed, will have earned it on the field, and that's as it should be. And so it'll be interesting to see how this season goes. I mentioned 8 teams from District 2 Quad A go into the postseason. Dallas is 1, Berwick is 2 right now, Valley View is 3. And the rest of the top 8 out of the 13 teams, North Pocono is 4th, Pittston is 5th, West Scranton is 6th, Nanacoke is 7th, and right now, Holmesdale, who lost to Valley View last week, is number 8. So we are just about set to go. Valley View will be moving from our right to our left as Jared Groshek gets set to kick off for the Bulldogs.
Chase Combs and Zach Kowalczyk, the 2 people deep, Jim.
So Groshek in front of this big crowd at Crispin Field, waiting the signal from the officials to get this one underway. Valley View. And it is as a kick high and deep and back to the goal line. The return to the 10 and the 15, a big hit at the 17-yard line.
Was it ever, Jim? Ryan Lawbaugh beat Blaine Cleaver down. The man was coming straight up the hash at Blaine Cleaver, and I'm thinking, boy, we're going to have a collision here. Instead, Ryan Lawbaugh met him 3 yards before that potential impact and shook him down to the ground. Pop.
It was Chase Coombs on the return. I'll set the Berwick defense after this first play from scrimmage at the Cougars at their own 18-yard line. I formation. Cordish at the tail of the tandem. Mason Cordish gets the call off the right side and nothing doing. Berwick across the front. Mason Lawbaugh and Eric Montez at the ends. Ben Peck and J.J. Snyder at the tackles. Joe Lynn back in the starting lineup at an inside linebacker along with Blaine Cleaver. Outside, Jake Seeley coming off an outstanding effort last week at Selinsgrove. And Ryan Lawbaugh. Naquan Smith and Peyton Williams are the corners. Tegan Wilk is the safety.
Joe Lynn shuffled to the hole to his left, but his lineman kind of beat him to the tackle. So 3 people coming out of that. Ben Peck, as well as Cleaver, as well as Seeley.
Second down and 9. Cougars now out of the gun. Janasa Boone gets the snap. He's going to carry it. He's running to his left, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Eric Montez turned it inside. We know that he'd like to run wide. This time going to his left, his preference is to the right. But the defensive end, Eric Montez, turned it in. The linebacker sitting there and waiting as he turned it upfield.
Third down and 8. These are the kind of situations Berwick would like to keep Valley View in all night long. We'll see how it goes from the 19-yard line.
Janasa Boone throws at 50%. 19 of 38 on the season.
Cordish lines up as a wide receiver to the left. Boone out of the gun. There's a slot to the right side. Third down call. Low snap. Picks it up. Fires a bullet pass. Has his man. Then a big hit at the 25-yard line. Kowalczyk went up high. Got the ball. And then he took a real hit from Tegan Wilkes.
Yeah, Tegan Wilkes like a missile. A guided missile who comes at you and there's an explosive payload at the end of it. He's going to come up 2 yards away from the chains. That's going to force the first punt of the game.
7 yards on that reception.
What a hit.
As Blake Maurer and Tegan Wilk await the punt by Kowalczyk, who's standing back at the 12-yard line. Snap is there, and the kick is away. Line drive kick bounces at the 45. Wilk takes it at the 35, and he is brought down right in his tracks.
Yes, he
Jordan
is.
Consaretti with good tackle on special teams for Valley View. So Berwick gets it for the first time in this game with 9:37 to go in a scoreless first quarter.
Not a bad punt, not bad coverage, Jim, but the snap really floated back.
They'll be going against the Valley View defense that lines up with Kyler Rosina and Kevin Duffy at the ends, Johnny Snipsis and Tyler Schwartz at the tackles. Inside linebacker in this 4-3, Ryan Turlett. Trayon Jones outside along with Kane Bennett, Mason Cordish, and Chase Coombs the corners. Jordan Consaretti, Jade Duplessis are the safeties. 1st and 10, Berwick. They mark it at the Bulldog 36-yard line.
Aiden Mason, the tailback.
Forced out of the pistol, tosses the ball. Right side to Shoemaker. There's a flag down the play. Shoemaker inside the 40. Shoemaker knocked out of bounds inside the Berwick 30-yard line, but there is a flag down on the play. Well, Frank Sheptock told us this week that he was going to try to put Owen Shoemaker into different positions, try to get him some open space. He certainly got a lot of open space for him in that first play. Let's see if it comes back.
It will. It'll be a hold right at the line of scrimmage. Chuck Supon saw it. They had Shoemaker as a wing on the left. Aiden Mason, I noticed in the backfield. They fake the dive and then a quick pitch from the half moon motion as Shoemaker comes from left to right. And the blocking or the assist of the hold gave him the soft corner, and he showed that tremendous speed, the surprising speed he has. We think of him as a power running back. Boy, he just blazed on down the sideline, but it all comes back because of the hold.
To the 24-yard line will be 1st and 22 as Valley View put 3 or 4 subs in after that penalty, including Janasa Boone, who's in the secondary. Here comes Tegan Wilk in motion. There's a give on the play to Shoemaker coming around from the wing position, and he's over the 35 to the 36. Again, Shoemaker for the first time this season, not lining up as the running back, but on a wing, coming in motion, getting the handoff. They mark it at the 32, so it's a pickup of 8.
Very similar looking play to the one that was called back, only he cut inside a block as they kicked the man who had contained out. He cut up inside closer to the C gap and got to the chains, the start of the chains. 2
running backs behind Force, who fakes the handoff, keeps the football, has running room, and Alex Force out to a first down at the 48-yard line. Pick up 16 on the play.
Wonderful run. He just followed his people up the hole. Fullback, then running back, and then Alex Force. The man grabbed him by the jersey, but he was able to sort of spring away from that and get to the chains. Running quarterbacks will be a factor in this game. Alex Force makes his presence known.
First down at the 49. Shoemaker's in a slot to the right side. Tegan Wilk comes in motion, takes the pitch. They're onto it. Now he's going to throw a pass at the last minute, incomplete.
Oh,
the
boy.
Very last minute he threw that pass.
But I think it was in the plan, Jim. He just didn't have time to set and throw. He had 2 different people. Owen Shoemaker was one, plus a receiver. Might have been Sharkovsky. Yes, it was. Both well behind the secondary who were coming up to stop Tegan Wilk on the run. If he could have just got it airborne and deeper, someone would have had a catch for at least 30 yards.
Jonathan Clark made the big defensive play for Valley View right in the face of Tegan Wilkins. Forces back to throw, and he fires it over the head of Shoemaker at the 45-yard line.
And viewed as a lateral, Jim, the linesman is going to stay 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A sideways pass, way too high for Shoemaker to get, only about 10 yards away, but high, and then it bounces out of bounds, so they'll suffer the loss.
Loss of 4. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 14. But again, we can see Berwick using Owen Shoemaker in all different sorts of situations. He now is the running back behind Force on this 3rd and long, and Force is back to throw, and he fires to the sideline, and he has a man, and Blake Maurer is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Great defensive work by Jaden Duplessis. Good tackle in the open field. Punt team will come on for the Bulldogs.
And again, a quick little out pattern, and then he gave up a yard and trying to spin away, but Duplessis right on him in coverage, stayed on him for the tackle, tackles him at the line of scrimmage. Berwick forced to punt.
Jake Lanning will do the snapping for the Bulldogs. Sharkovsky back at the 30-yard line to punt it away for the Bulldogs. So both defenses come up big on the first possession. Snap is there, and the kick is away. Line drive kick. And it goes through the deep man, who then tries to get to the outside and does so to the 20, to the 25, and out to the 27-yard line.
Ryan Lanning eventually bringing him down, but they had a man there earlier who could have dropped him for about 6 more on a loss. In any case, Jim, for the low kick that often can be returnable, Berwick lucks out as the man misses it, has to go back, and then good coverage.
Alex Thakov was on the return for the Cougars, who get it for the second time, this time at their 28-yard line with 7:53 to go in the scoreless first quarter. Janasa Boone under center, I formation behind him. Toss to the left. And a gain just out to the 29-yard line as
Eric Montez in on the tackle. Not sure of the ball carrier, Jim. It was an odd pitch. He couldn't go wide. He was turned in, and Montez got to the inside to keep that to a yard gain.
2nd down and 9 for the Bulldogs, for Valley View at their 29-yard line. One running back behind Boone. Flea flicker. Boone has it back. He's looking long downfield. He has a man. The catch at the 40 and down to the Berwick 36-yard line. There was a handoff and then the pitch back to Janasa Boone, and his long pass downfield was caught by Jaden Duplessis. Big gain, the first of the game, to the Berwick 37-yard line.
Coaches have certainly altered the game plans in this big game. We've seen Frank Sheptock go to different types of looks we haven't seen before. And now we're going to see George Hawanitz with a flea flicker early.
34 yards on the reception from the Berwick 37-yard line. Boone gives to Cornish. He's cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Blaine Cleaver across that line of scrimmage. No chance for Cornish. He went low, got him by the ankles. They're going to mark it at the 40, a loss of 3.
Blaine Cleaver will be called on to do some run blitzes where they fill every gap. They're going to slide the defensive front four into a gap and bring the linebackers through, reading for run. That's how he gets that deep on into the backfield. He's coming right on the snap, and he meets Mason Cordish 2 yards, 3 yards deep.
2nd down and 13. Valley View at the Berwick 40-yard line. 6:14 to go in the scoreless first quarter. Boone under center. Cordish, the lone running back behind him. Boone's got to keep the ball himself. Gets around the corner left to the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. Makes a great cut, and inside the 10, brought down at the 7-yard line. A run all the way. Janasa Boone off the left side. Another big gain for the Cougars.
When the quarterback runs, there's extra people to block. They are able to get the soft corner. There was no contain as Eric Montez got caught inside. No sign of the outside linebacker. Eventually the corner makes a flailing attempt to bring him down before the safeties come over.
33 yards on the carry by Janasa Boone. I formation behind him now. 1st and goal, Cougars at the Bulldogs 7-yard line. TJ Noto is the fullback ahead of Cordish. Boone keeps it himself up the middle. He'll get nowhere. Eric Montez right there to make the play for the Bulldogs.
Jake Seeley also slanting down hard. There was a little bit of a delay, and then the play developed. Things opened momentarily. But Seeley saw the quarterback breaking up, comes from his outside linebacker position over center to make that hit.
2nd down and goal. Cougars at the 7. Flag down on the play. I think this is going to be a sideline warning against Berwick. That's it.
Yep.
So no penalty, just the warning. Penalty on the next call such as that. 2nd down and goal. Valley View trying to strike first in this battle of unbeatens. They have it at the Berwick 7-yard line. Slot to the right side. Kudrick in the slot. Duplessis outside of him. Boone has the snap. He's looking to the right. Big pass rush. Gets the pass away. It is caught at the goal line by Duplessis.
Boy, how he got that in. He went down. A linebacker dove to swat at it, and somehow he scooped it off the ground after it got past the linebacker. No first down, set up a 3rd and very short.
Boone looking to the sideline for the play call. Now he calls everybody back to the huddle.
Yes, 16 seconds. They're getting personnel in. They were a man short. They may end up with a timeout here, Jim.
3rd and goal. Valley View at the Berwick 1-yard line. Power eye to the right. Boone under center. Gives the ball to Cordish. Cordish off the right side in for a Valley View touchdown. The Cougars strike first with 4:13 to go in this first quarter.
Yes, they do. Despite the confusion, being a man short, besides hurrying to beat the clock, they still manage to power eye, and Cordish goes in standing on into the end zone. Little dive play behind the power backs off the right side.
72-yard scoring drive, 2 big plays as Cam Chakotay will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Dylan Hawanitz. Snap is a little bit high. The hold is there, and the kick is up, and the kick is through. Time on the field, 4:13 to go. First quarter. Valley View 7, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 60 years of service, can handle all of your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete and lightweight block. They have front-end discharge trucks for ready-mix concrete. Riverview Block also carries all masonry supplies, sand and gravel. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block 752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Valley View strikes on their second possession. 7 plays, 72-yard drive, 1-yard touchdown run by Mason Cordish. 2 huge plays along the way. Flea flicker, 34-yard pass. Jasana Boone to Jaden DePlessis, and then a 33-yard run by Boone. Cordish finishes it off. Chakotay with the extra point. 7-0. Valley View, 4:13 remaining in this opening quarter.
Chakotay, soccer-style kicker, kicking from the tee in the middle of the field. Probably going to try to get the touchback here. 10-yard run coming up.
No wind to speak of as Chakotay approaches the ball. The kick is high and deep, and Aiden Mason right at the goal line. To the 5, to the far side, the 10, the 15, the 20. Tries to spin away from a tackle and does so, and then is getting tackled about the 26-yard line. Nice return by Aiden Mason. Bulldogs will get it for the second time, trailing now 7-0, 4:02 to go in the opening quarter.
And they're going to have to regain their composure, Jim. It's tough for a team that's been dominating everyone to be scored upon, to be behind at home. Berwick has to recognize, hey, this is a top-tier team. They can play. They were beaten there defensively on a couple of superior plays. Now they have to make it happen offensively and match that score.
Aiden Mason, Blake Maurer come on as running backs for Berwick. Mason will be the back behind Alex Force, who operates out of the gun. As the give up the middle to Mason in a strong run out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Picks up 6 on a quick first down burst.
And Jaden Duplessis coming up from the secondary to stop him after 6 yards. The notion was Owen Shoemaker coming in motion, planting, and then attacking the C gap, while Aiden Mason hits the B gap inside. So using the distraction of Owen Shoemaker.
Now they'll bring Shoemaker from the left side to the right. He's one of 3 receivers to the right. Force out of the pistol on 2nd down and 4. He throws the other way, and it's incomplete. Just off the fingertips of Blake Maurer, I believe.
Yeah, it is. A little nonchalant throwing action to the Singleton receiver on the left. Just misses in connecting with Blake Maurer, who just doesn't have a time quite right. Couldn't get out there fast enough.
3rd down and 4 for Berwick. 2 tight ends in there. And now Shoemaker in his usual running back position behind Force in the pistol. 3rd down and 4. Force, long count. Gives the ball to Shoemaker, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. He will not get anywhere near the first down. Great play by Kyler Rosino from his defensive end position. 4th and 4, punt team on for Berwick.
The dive part of the option. Quarterback looked like he wanted to pull it out, but felt there might be a fumble, so he left it in there. The play goes nowhere. Berwick forced to punt.
Alex Sakov, Chase Combs, deep for Valley View. Sharkowski standing back at the Berwick 15-yard line, awaiting the snap of Jake Lanning. Snap is there. Valley View coming hard, but he gets the kick away. Nice kick, and Coombs back at the 30-yard line to the 35 and over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Nice tackle in the open field by Dallas Schechterly. So Valley View will take over their third possession of this opening quarter. They scored in the last one. They lead Berwick 7-0, 2:36 remaining in the period.
First series was pretty standard offense. Berwick was forcing them into a 3 downs and punt. Then they went with a flea flicker and the running quarterback, 34 yards on each of those plays, and caught Berwick unawares, unable to stop.
I formation behind Janasa Boone, who sets him down at the 42-yard line. Noto is the fullback ahead of Mason Cordish, who scored the touchdown. Boone back to throw, looking long downfield for Kowalczyk, just beyond his reach. Good coverage, though, by Naquan Smith. Would have had to been a perfect pass.
Yeah, perfect, and maybe just a little bit further, but it may have connected. Half a step by Kowalczyk, isolated one-on-one with Naquan Smith, who was there. But boy, a play that if it's inches either way, this way, that way, may turn out differently.
Valley View against Berwick in the district championship game. I mentioned this earlier, threw 3 passes the entire game. We're going to see more tonight.
That's already their 4th, Jim. 3 completed.
Hawanitz wide to the right. Duplessis wide left. Hawanitz now comes in motion to the left side. Toss to Cordish. Cordish tries to hurdle a tackler, gets away at midfield to the 45, down the far sideline, forced out of bounds across the way at the Berwick 35-yard line. Some nice running by Mason Cordish.
Yeah, they opened up the C gap for him on the right side, running toward the Valley View sideline. Corner was in position to make the hit after about an 8-yard gain, but somehow just didn't commit, didn't fly into it well enough, and he extends beyond that.
23 yards in the carry by Mason Cordish. Some big plays in the opening quarter by Valley View. Third one of 23 or more from the Berwick 35-yard line. Boone under center with the I formation behind him. Fake toss, keeps the football, gets outside right, inside the 30, and gets very close to the first down, yardage across the way.
Yeah, Berwick coming hard with Blaine Cleaver to make the stop. They're kind of double-teaming, crack-backing on the man who has contained. The defensive end or outside linebacker, that time I believe it was Jake Seeley. He's going to have to keep an awareness of who's wide of him and not let that quarterback get out there.
They are really more dynamic this year with Boone at the quarterback spot.
Yep.
He can do a lot of things. 9-yard carry there, 2nd down and 1. From the Berwick 26-yard line, and all kinds of movement on the part of the Cougars.
I think they were going on first sound. The problem is the sound I don't think came out of the quarterback. Both the left tackle and the tight end moved in unison. The rest of the team held their position. So they heard something, off they went, and that's a big break for Berwick.
It is. That was a 2nd down and 1. Now they'll need 6 for the first down. On 2nd down, they have it at the Bulldogs' 31-yard line.
It's the point where you got to have the leadership on the field. You got to regroup. You got to say, hey, we're Berwick. We're all-stars at every position. We have this. We can do it. We can make the impact play.
Kudrick is wide to the left side. I formation. Boone gives the ball to Cordish off the right side. Cordish has the first down before he's belted out of bounds inside the Berwick 25-yard line.
Brian Durkin, the big right tackle. 6'4", 275, manhandled his defensive lineman, drove him, turned the corner with him, and that gives Cordish the outside.
They'll mark it at the 23. That's a pickup of 8 on the play, 1st and 10. Antonio Barada has come in replacing Jake Seeley defensively for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 Cougars at the Berwick 23. Boone under center. Not the lone running back behind him. Boone's back to throw, and he's looking for the end zone to Kowalczyk, and it's incomplete. Coverage by Naquan Smith.
Stayed with him. Never really quite turned for the ball, but you're given more liberty in pass coverage in high school. When he saw the man going for the ball, he put his hands up between his hands so that it could not be caught. So solid coverage.
2nd down and 10. Valley View at the Berwick 23-yard line. Cougars trying to add to their 7-0 lead. 2:03 to go before a huge crowd here at Crespin Field. Opening quarter of action. I formation. Cordish at the tail of the tandem. 2nd down and 10. Boone under center. Fakes to Cordish. Keeps the football. Tries to get outside left. Berwick makes the stop, but not before he gets to the 14-yard line. There is a flag down on the play.
Thrown during the tackle, but thrown back where there might have been a hold behind him. So this is going to be a critical penalty. Blaine Cleaver stayed with the initial fake and really put a punishing pop onto Cordish. Going to be holding against Valley View. And again, that's going to change the field position dramatically.
And probably the hold helped the Cougar cause, but still, it's got to be alarming for Berwick how Boone is getting outside on these straight carries.
Especially when you know he's planning to do it. Now, have they changed some blocking assignments? Are they getting hooked by receivers who are out wide? I'm not sure. It seems a little different each time. That time they pulled a guard and filled with Cordish, and he led the way. So exactly how they're getting the corner seems a little bit different each play.
Back at the 29-yard line of the Bulldogs, 2nd and 16. Boone under center. Keeps the football, trying to get outside right, and this time the Bulldogs are right there, right at the line of scrimmage. Ryan Lawbaugh among the people coming up to make the play for Berwick.
Antonio Barada as well in there at that outside backer position, seeing it. Berwick's defensive front got pushed inside. We have a penalty here, Jim?
We do. Chuck Supon, the referee, will tell us what it's all about. It was no gain on the play. Would have been a 3rd and 16 under the circumstances. The flag is in the secondary. It's a personal foul against Berwick. That is huge.
Was it away from the play, Jim?
Oh, it had to be.
Yeah,
the play was at the line of scrimmage. The penalty came in the secondary. What would anyone be doing? And I'm not saying it's a bad call.
We just didn't see it. Yeah.
That is
it would be a bad play, is what it is. The type of mistake that you can't make in a big game against a big-time opponent.
I mean, that was going to be 3rd down and 16. Instead, it's 1st down at the, 3rd down and 1 at the Berwick 14-yard line.
They've shown the power to convert at the goal line. They had gone power I. They even have it down to play with if they want to go for this on 4th down. So, see how they go, power I.
To the right side, Cordish the tailback. 3rd and 1. Cordish gets the call. He's buried. Joe Lynn comes in quickly, and I don't think they got the 1st down. It's got to be 4th down coming up.
We'll see. They double-teamed the down lineman at the point of attack on the right side, defensive tackle, and they moved him using 2 of their linemen. Joe Lynn, another linebacker, then surrounded that and hit him, and they will call it no gain.
4th and 1. The Cougars have a good kicker, but they are not thinking 3 here. They are going for it. Power I to the right. Boone under center. 4th down and 1 call coming. Boone, quarterback keeper off the left side, gets enough surge for the 1st down. Well, when you've got the great offensive line that they have, all 5 starters back from the district championship team, you have to like your chances on 4th and 1.
Yeah, and I've been watching the line play quite a bit. This team is coming off and on occasion dominating some of the Berwick players, whether it's getting wide with the quarterback or whether it's straight power plays and double teams. It's a well-coached offensive line with a lot of experience and a lot of talent.
Clock running, 45 seconds to go opening quarter. Valley View looking to add to a 7-0 lead. 1st and 10 at the Berwick 13-yard line. I formation. Cordish, the tailback, gets the call, tries to sweep the right side. He's strung out. A flag flies as he brought down for a loss back at the 18-yard line.
Ryan Lawbaugh, as he bounced out wide, came up and grabbed him by an ankle. At that point, I believe there was a blocking infraction, and then others came up to help Lawbaugh pull him down.
Interesting decision for Berwick here. It's a 5-yard loss on the carry. And so we'll see if the Bulldogs take that penalty or not. No indication yet from Chuck Supon. He just gave us the hold call.
I think they're going to take the penalty, Jim, try to alter field position a little bit, force this team into more passing downs than they want, and set the defense to try to get an impact play and force a turnover.
1st and 20 now for Valley View back. Well, let's see. They're marking at the 28-yard line. So it's 1st and 25. So that's a big penalty. I understand why they took it now. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Cordish in motion to the left. Boone has the shotgun snap. He fires long as a man wide open. It's Hawanitz into the end zone for the touchdown. Dylan Hawanitz was by his lonesome at the 5-yard line and goes in for the score 28 yards away.
Not sure how he lined up. Somewhere on the left side. He normally plays tight end. He might have been flexed. But White Berwick had no one in that position. They might have run a crossing pattern underneath, and maybe the safeties bit, but he was by himself deep. Quarterback Boone just lofts the ball out there, and it's an easy catch and an easy touchdown.
So Dylan Hawanitz, the son of head coach George Hawanitz, with his second touchdown reception of the season. What's going on here? We have unsportsmanlike against Valley View.
That's celebration penalty, probably on the kickoff, Jim, which sort of neutralizes their great kicker.
10.9 seconds to go in the quarter as Cam Chakotay will attempt the extra point. And Valley View stunning Berwick here in this opening quarter. Snap, placement, kick is up, kick is good. Timeout on the field. 10.9 seconds remaining first quarter. Valley View 14, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLN.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style, to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Cougars of Valley View have scored on their last two possessions. They lead Berwick by a score of 14-0. On the 28-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Hawanitz, there was an unsportsmanlike against Valley View, and that will be on the kickoff, and that could be significant because Berwick usually a very good team returning kicks. The ball will be back at the Cougar 25-yard line.
Berwick's deep men lined up on the 20. Otherwise, they'd be back almost on the goal line. So, yes, a significant celebration penalty. Jim, I'd bench guys for a game or two for that celebrating penalty.
Well,
that's me.
It depends.
Yeah.
If it really is a celebration or if it's just the official.
Jake Seeley's was questionable.
Here's a kick skittering along the turf. They did not go long with it. It's bobbled at the 32-yard line by Aiden Mason. Now he picks it up, and he gets to the 40-yard line. So the Bulldogs will have good field position. 4.6 seconds remaining in this opening quarter, but they trail by a score of 14-0. And boy, already some big plays for Valley View. They've had a 34-yard pass completion, a 33-yard run, a 23-yard run, and a 28-yard touchdown pass.
Exposing a number of holes in the defense. Great game planning by Coach George Hawanitz. Calling the right plays, finding out where he's going to be able to hurt Berwick, and he's hurting them.
Boy, going back to that penalty against the Bulldogs.
Big.
When it would have been 3rd and 16. Personal foul in the secondary. It's a ball gives straight ahead to Aiden Mason. He's got some running room to the Valley View 45, to the 40, and down to the 35-yard line. Aiden Mason got a big hole and knew what to do with it. Strong run by the freshman on the final play of the opening quarter. Valley View 14, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 XL Sport for just $379 a month, or 0% financing on all Ford SUVs. At Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln, Route 11 Berwick.
Leases 10,500 miles per year for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Call 877-788-6045 for lease details. Offer expires 9/30/18.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the high school football scoreboard, in the second, Central Columbia leads Danville 14-7. In the second, Lewisburg leads Bloomsburg 12-0. And in the first, Southern Columbia leads South Williamsport 27-6. For WHL in Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog football. HLM.
One quarter in the books here at Crespin Field. This matchup of unbeaten football team been dominated by Valley View to this point. They lead Berwick 14-0. But a spark for Berwick on what was the final play of the first quarter. A 25-yard run by freshman Aiden Mason. And we start this second period, Berwick moving from our right to our left, first down at the Cougar 35-yard line.
Mason flubbed the opening, or the kick there, but then made something happen, and now the big play. He high-stepped over Jordan Conceretti to get an extra 10 yards in the run.
As they're going to option to the right, Force pitches the ball to Shoemaker, turns the corner at the 30, the 25, and ridden out of bounds across the way. So they option to the right, and Force pitched the ball. Most of the time when we've seen that option look so far, it's been a keeper by Force. Maybe the first time we've seen the pitch, and it works very, very effectively. A 9-yard pickup, 2nd and 1 at the 26.
Hey, he could have gone either way. He could have turned it up himself, but I think he felt, hey, Shoemaker has that surprising speed on the outside. He was able to turn the corner and extend that play.
2nd and 1, Berwick at the Valley View 26-yard line. There's a give on the end around to Tegan Wilk looking for the first down yardage. He gets it and a little more. As he gets to the 23-yard line, and there'll be a flag after the play. Some extracurriculars from Kyla Rosina.
Is there a flag, Jim? Oh, yes, there it is. I see it now. Fans certainly reacted to what they felt was a late hit or a shove. I didn't see the flag come, but now it's the one out there on the field. So, yes, Berwick taking advantage. Tegan Wilk always has the big play potential when you run him on that sort of end-around, jet sweep type of action. He certainly was able to get the first down yardage or a little more. But people trying to make sure he's down and staying down adds to the penalty yardage, which is significant.
At the 10-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal for Berwick. We are just underway in the second quarter with Valley View leading Berwick by a score of 14-0.
Berwick certainly wants to cut this lead in half. There's a little bit of a stoppage and delay. The officials aren't quite ready. Valley View getting a player on a little bit late.
Valley View actually made 3 or 4 substitutions after Berwick got to the 10.
I often thought that Berwick waits too long while another team is getting set. Snap the ball and go.
Shoemaker in motion to the right. A fake pitch to him. Force keeps the football. Turns the corner. Tight ropes the sidelines and gets inside the 5-yard line before he's forced out of bounds.
Nice decision. Rolling to his left, a tough way to throw, but we're going to have a flag, a holding call against Berwick. He bubbled the roll to the left back so he can square his shoulders, hoping to get a receiver open in the end zone. When he saw that wasn't there, he turned it upfield. But inside of him, Berwick guilty of the hold. He'd have been down inside the 5.
And we can only hope that a game of this magnitude doesn't turn into a flag fest. So far, we've had a lot of them.
Well, you don't want the flags, but you can't have the infractions. You know.
Well, that's back to the 27-yard line. So it's 1st and goal from the 27. What a devastating penalty against Berwick.
Yep, and you would have been inside the 5 if you didn't have the hold. I don't think it helped the run.
Here comes Shoemaker in motion. The call up the middle to Aiden Mason. Makes a great move at the 20 and gets down to the 17. What a burst by him.
He has that burst. And again, Owen Shoemaker in motion is drawing attention. He's eventually pulled down into secondary by Jaden Duplessis, who comes up. He made a linebacker miss after getting through the line of scrimmage, and eventually the safety has to come up.
2nd down and goal up to the 10-yard run by freshman Aiden Mason.
Having quite a game.
He is behind Force as they're using Shoemaker in different places. He's in a slot. He comes in motion. Force back to throw. Big pass rush. He's in trouble. And is brought down at the 20-yard line, a loss of 3.
Janessa Boone, quarterback for the team, getting some defensive action, is the man who eventually runs down the flushed quarterback. Well, taking on his counterpart there and knocking him for a loss.
3rd and goal for Berwick, but the ball is at the 20-yard line of Valley View. And now Shoemaker is to the left of Force, who's going to operate out of the gun after this Berwick timeout. 10:03 to go first half. 14-0 Valley View. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Last time Valley View had the football, a huge penalty against the Bulldogs, a personal foul in the secondary. After what would have been a 3rd and 16 play, led to a touchdown for Valley View. Now Berwick offensively would have had a 1st and goal inside the 5, but a holding call brings it way back. And now the Bulldogs, following their timeout, 3rd down and goal, but they have it at the Valley View 20-yard line.
On the left hash, wide side of the field to the right where the receivers are set.
Shoemaker goes in motion to the left. Empty backfield for Force, who has the snap. They're coming hard. He is going to be hit. Bounces away. Still on his feet. In trouble. Loses yardage back to the 26-yard line. They just kept coming. Jaden Duplessis finally gets the sack for the Cougars. And now Berwick out of field goal range. And 4th and goal at the 27-yard line.
They might be able to get a first down on the 1-yard line, Jim, but it's not even worth mentioning. This is something where you probably throw it up into the end zone, still on the left hash. Very elusive of the quarterback to make 4 or 5 potential tacklers miss. Nothing more that Alex Force could do there.
4 wide receivers to choose from. Force back to throw. Another big pass rush. He rolls right. He gets a block from Shoemaker. He's looking downfield, throws across his body. The diving catch inside the 20-yard line by Sharkowski. They'll get the completion, but Valley View will get the football with 9:08 to go in this first half.
Just nowhere to go. The pass rush is thrown off the timing of the play. He does that sort of scramble left and then turn and give a lot of ground as he moves to the right. Looks, eventually throws against the grain toward the middle of the field where he finds Sharkowski, but not nearly enough for the first down.
They'll pick up 9 on the play. Valley View takes over the football with 9:08 to go in the first half. They lead Berwick 14-0. They have it at the Valley View 18-yard line.
Defense has to impact something, force a fumble.
Cornish gets the call. Mason Cornish with lots of running room up the middle. Over the 25 out to the 28-yard line.
They're being beaten up front. Ryan Lawbaugh on the left side had to go all the way over to the right side and catch him 10 yards downfield. So at the point of attack and at the linebackers at the point of attack, Berwick's being beaten right now.
10 yards on the carry by Mason Cornish. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. They have it at their own 28-yard line. Awanitz, who caught the touchdown pass, splits wide to the left. Then they re-huddle, and he's not part of it. He goes back out to that end position. Again, the I formation. Again, Cornish on the call. Ben Peck wraps him up, but good burst on first down over the 32, maybe the 33-yard line.
And it looked like Blaine Cleaver wrapped him up from behind, but still at the point of attack, enough of a surge and enough momentum from that running back to make it a 4-yard gain.
2nd down and 6. Valley View leading Berwick 14-0 in this battle of unbeatens. 8:10 remaining in the first half. Berwick's defense trying to keep them in the game as there's a slot to the right side. Kowalczyk is wide to the right. Call goes straight ahead to the fullback Noto, and he is wrapped up hard. Berwick's all over the play.
Berwick's still not ready for the play, though. interior lineman, not in a set position. I'm not sure Valley View was totally ready to explode off the ball either.
J.J.
going in a
Snyder
hurry.
Made the stop for the Bulldogs. 3rd down and 4 now. Big 3rd down play for Berwick's defense. Valley View at their own 34-yard line with 7:28 to go in this first half. Now they send Cordish wide to the left side, wide to the right. Notice the lone running back. Boone back to throw. Big pass rush. He's going to be sacked. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but Berwick all over the play. Ryan Walbaugh wraps up the quarterback who had no chance. Whether it was a run or a pass, we'll never know.
Both outside backers played it well. Antonio Barada came hard and kind of got a shoulder of the quarterback, but didn't bring him down. Coming just as hard from the other side was Lawbaugh, who brought him down for the loss.
Jordan Consoretti will do the snapping. Zach Kowalczyk, the punter, standing back at the Valley View 21-yard line.
Snaps have floated a little bit. This one's better.
Berwick coming hard, gets the kick away. It will bounce at the 32-yard line. Berwick will have to let it roll. Takes a great roll for Valley View. Still rolling all the way down to the Berwick 17-yard line. So that's where the Bulldogs will put it in play. A long way from the goal line. They trail 14-0. 6:24 to go in this first half.
A long way, but they've shown that they can move the ball. They have a good game plan. They have plays that have worked. It's just that they've shot themselves in the foot with mistakes. Penalty flags have set them up in long yardage situations in order to convert. That's get them off the scoreboard. Avoid the miscues. They should be able to drive the ball, cut this lead in half, make it 14-7 at halftime, and you're still in the ball game.
With the roll, 49 yards, no return on the punt by Kowalczyk.
Very nice punt.
Berwick back in their 17-yard line with the first down. Alex Force out of the pistol. Gives the ball to Shoemaker. Has some room off the left side over the 20 to the 25. Breaks out of a tackle over the 30 out to the 32-yard line.
Nice power run. It was a trouble in getting the shotgun snap, which was low down around his knees. But then he got it up to Shoemaker, who was coming that same side as the snap. He was able to bounce it right outside the tackle. There's no one there. And when you get him into that second level, he's a bull to bring down.
15 yards on the carry by Owen Shoemaker. 1st and 10, Berwick at their own 32-yard line. Force to Shoemaker again. This time, not much doing. A yard, maybe 2 on the play.
A lot of stalemates on the right side as the defensive front takes on the blockers, and then linebackers do converge. A little bit of a slant from one guard on the left toward the other guard on the right with Owen Shoemaker, but not enough to gain yardage. 2nd down and 9. Berwick from their 33. Clock running 5:40 to go in this opening half. Bulldogs trailing 14-0. Notice big Justin Eckert in there at left guard. He gives them some bulk.
Cherkowski on a wing to the right. Justin Robbins comes in motion. The call goes to Shoemaker. He stood up and he breaks free and gets out to the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. What an attitude run by Owen Shoemaker.
Yeah, but the other guys need an attitude adjustment too. 2 defensive linemen at the point of attack converge on him. Where's the blocking off the right side? They don't bring him down. He kind of surprisingly spins away from it, goes opposite, and makes the big play, but all by himself. 10 more players have to join in.
11 yards on the carry. Force back to throw. Hits Blake Maurer, the quick hitter, and he gets out to the 49-yard line.
Very nice. Quarterback turns to his left, zips it out near the line of scrimmage. One man already blocking for Maurer, and they get 5 yards on first down, and that's a success.
2nd down and 5. Bulldogs at their own 49. Shoemaker in the slot to the left side. In motion comes Tegan Wilk. A toss to him. Gets a block from Shoemaker. And Wilk turns the corner and runs hard for a first down.
I like the way he put his helmet down at the end of the tackle, and he delivered the blow. Got the change plus about 5. He uses the vision. He sees he's going to get the corner. Was thinking about cutting it back against the grain, but he would have been cut off. Valley View taking a timeout, Jim.
Good shield block by Owen Shoemaker on that gain. 4:37 to go in the half. 14-0 Valley View. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickasha, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Berwick appears to have something going. They trail 14-0, 4:37 to go in the half, but they have the ball at the Valley View 44-yard line.
I think Owen Shoemaker's run gave him a spark, Jim. Yeah, you got to be a little upset with yourself, a little embarrassed when one guy has to do it all by himself. I think that's when the 10 other players say, hey, we got to crank it up too. Now, they've gone with some nice touch passing and then this little reversed where you put it in the hands of Tegan Wilkes and some nice play calling as they've been going along.
After the Valley View timeout, Berwick at the Cougar 44-yard line.
Valley View wants to re-strategize, rethink, get to the right mindset, kind of refresh their people a little bit. 3 two-way players on the defense.
Shoemaker comes in motion. They give straight ahead to Aiden Mason. It's defended pretty well. He'll get just a couple of yards on the play before he is brought down by Logan Burns, and they're defensively right now for the Cougars. So it's 2nd down and 8 for Berwick. Bulldogs with 2 timeouts remaining.
Aiden Mason on the game. That's his 4th carry, just 2 there, but 43 on the game and mostly running up inside the guards because of these new formations trying to feature Owen Shoemaker in different positions.
Now Shoemaker at the conventional running back spot. And the call goes to him, and he looks for room, and he carries a host of tacklers to a first out the 35-yard line.
He carried them, plus Noah Craig got behind him and pushed. He's allowed to do that now. So Noah Craig used his 256-pound frame and pushed Shoemaker and has him approaching the chains.
7 yards in the carry, 3rd down and 1. Berwick at the Valley View 35-yard line. Force pitches the ball to Sharkowski. Flags fly as he loses yardage back to the 37-yard line.
They tried to get the corner on the pitch. Use Sharkowski rather than Tegan Wilk as a changeup. There's going to be a hold inside of that as they came toward the Berwick sideline. The corner came up and made the hit for a loss. And Berwick, guilty of yet another penalty, is going to be marched back.
Well, you get to the point where when you do something decent or you get in a good field position, you keep waiting for the mistake to be made. And Berwick has made it. They cost themselves probably a touchdown with a penalty. They probably gave Valley View an opportunity for a touchdown with a penalty. And now a penalty brings it all the way back to midfield.
They'd have been short of the chains. And in a position where maybe on 4th you go for it, maybe you punt. This at least gives them a 3rd down play, even though it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, was a 3rd and 1 turns into a 3rd and 16. Another critical mistake by the Bulldogs from midfield. Flag down on the play before it could get started. Illegal procedure against Berwick. Another mistake by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, now you wonder if you just quick kick it or something like that. But Berwick has some magicians. They have that quickness. People who have that skill set. Guys like Tegan Wilk and Aiden Mason. Maurer, try to get it in their hands and hope they can break something and get to the chains.
3:10 remaining in this half. Desperation time for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 21. Trips to the right. Wide receiver left. Force has the snap. Back to throw. Steps up into it. Running to his left. He'll keep the football. He'll get to the Valley View 43-yard line before he's ridden back by Mason Cordish.
Cordish squared up on him real well and then kind of picked him up and drove him back as the whistle's being blown. And here we have a penalty now thrown toward the Berwick bench as maybe some people came off the field. But whichever way this goes, it's going to be critical. If it's against Valley View, and I couldn't tell you, I didn't see the way the scrum was going. Valley View pointing it's against Berwick. After the play, that'll set up the punt
Yep. The 13-yard run, and then unsportsmanlike against Berwick.
The fans wanted the penalty to be on the tackle. I like a good square hit, and I like to see you lift and drive the man and stop at the whistle. I didn't think he put him down that hard. I don't know if I'd have thrown the flag. I can see where the fans would want it. But then afterwards, Berwick's got to show the discipline. They can't keep taking unsportsmanlike penalties. You might give this team a chance to score before half yet again.
Yeah, they have 2 timeouts remaining. Chase Combs, Alex Safkov, deep, waiting. The punt from Alex Sharkowski, standing back at the 25-yard line. Snap is high, and he gets the kick away. The kick is short, but very, very, very high. Bounces at the 30, takes a bad bounce where Berwick's concerned. Ben Peck will down at about the 37-yard line. So Valley View leading 14-0. This is a key series. Berwick will get the football to start the second half, but another score by Valley View would really make it an uphill battle for Berwick.
Yeah, Berwick wanted to be able to drive it in and cut that lead to 14-7. Instead, they're defending and protecting it from jumping up to a 21-0 lead at halftime.
Again, 2 timeouts remaining for the Cougars, who have it at their 37-yard line. Slot to the left side. Cordish is the lone running back. Boone under center. Call goes to Mason Cordish. Tries the left side. Has running room over the 45 to midfield and to the Berwick 47-yard line before Tegan Wilk can make the stop.
They're just being beaten at the line of scrimmage. The left guard and the left tackle fronted their men. That's Snippus and Alco. And they moved Berwick out one-on-one. Eventually, the free safety has to come on up and make a hit to stop it from going all the way in.
15 yards from the carry by Mason Cordish. Valley View at the Berwick 48-yard line with a first down. 2:09 remaining in the half. Call goes to Cordish again. Big hole again off the right side. He pounds to the 42-yard line. Joe Lynn. On the carry. And Cleaver making the stop for the Bulldogs.
When you watch the explosion at the snap, the offensive line, these key 5 returning linemen, averaging 250 pounds each, are exploding into the defense and moving people off the football. Straight dive there, and it's a 6-yard gain.
2nd down and 4. Remember, Valley View has an excellent kicker. As the half winding down, 1:30. Still those 2 timeouts remaining for the Cougars as they have it at the Berwick 42-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Sokoff in motion to the right. Boone off play action, back to throw. Big pass rush. Gets the pass away into traffic. It's tipped and it's caught.
No.
Down at the 7-yard line. No, an incompletion. Naquan Smith of Berwick got his hands on it. It was loose in the air and almost picked off by Kowalczyk.
Kowalczyk was there, as you mentioned. There's double coverage. He threw it high. Was kind of tipped. It looked like Kowalczyk was going to catch the ball, but then the other man down there, in tackling him to the ground, may have pulled the arms out, or when he got him to the ground, somehow got that ball to jut out. But you can see it rolling off to the side, and that's a huge break for Berwick.
They have been testing Naquan Smith. He's had pretty good coverage.
He's been there. He's been there.
3rd down and 4. Valley View at the Berwick 42-yard line. I formation. Cordish at the tail of the tandem. Toss sweep left side to him. Looking for the sticks. He has it and then some. He's belted out of bounds across the way inside the 35-yard line.
Tegan Wilcast.
Flag down. Well after the play. A flag came down.
On the Valley View sideline, the tackle came a little bit out of bounds. Maybe a push as the defender was getting up after the tackle. Very frustrating because Berwick is being manhandled right now at the point of attack. It's one-on-one blocking. The offensive line is moving people out of the way. The front, the linebackers can't get to the ball carrier. Tegan Wilk has to come up from safety like he's a linebacker playing at 10 yards. And the tackle goes out of bounds, and I believe it's against Berwick. I couldn't tell you what player.
It's a hold against Valley View.
Well, that's surprising for how late the flag came out. I mean, the play was over when the flag came out.
Yeah, that usually denotes something after the play, personal foul, and sportsmanlike.
rather surprising. Sometimes the flag does stick in an official's hand, and it would have been right at the point of the tackle. And now we're going to get the unsportsmanlike the other way, Jim. So there were two flags. One near where the man was pushed out of bounds. The other at the point where he is out of bounds, and it comes out to about the point where the run ended. 1st and 10.
Now, Frank Sheptock not at all happy as he's talking things over with the referee, Chuck Supon.
He may want to know what happened. He's very far away from the play. Valley View's running to the line, but the umpire is going to step over the ball while Chuck Supon and a line judge have their discussion. He can't argue the call. He's all the way across the other side of the field, but you do like to know, hey, what happened? Who did what? If it's unsportsmanlike, you want to get that name. It's someone you want to talk to along the way. So he had his say.
Big moment in the ball game. Valley View has a chance to really make it tough on Berwick. They already lead 14-0. 1:07 to go in the half. They have a first down at the Berwick 32-yard line. They send a man in motion to the right side, and Boone tosses the ball to Trayon Jones, and he is wrapped up by Mason Wallball for a loss in the play. Back at the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. First carry of the game for Trayon Jones, and a big play by defensive end Mason Wallball.
Yes, it was. Berwick needed a big play. I'm a little surprised by the play calling that you go to Trayon Jones, who's not in the rhythm of this game. He's played defensively. We have a stoppage, Jim. Timeout by Valley View.
46.9 seconds remaining in the half. Cougars lead at 14-0. You're listening to Berwick football on Sports Radio WHLN.
There's only one name you need to know when it comes to your pool table needs, and that's Gebhardt's. Stop in at Gebhardt's on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre to get top brand names like Olhausen and Brunswick, along with all the necessities, cue sticks, cue cases, poker supplies, and more. Visit Gebhardt's at Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre and check out their website, gebhardts.com. Gebhardt's, your full-line, full-service home game room headquarters.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
46.9 seconds remaining in the first half here at Crispin Field. This battle of unbeats has been dominated by the Cougars of Valley View. They lead Berwick 14-0. And following their timeout, they have one left. They have the ball at the Berwick 35-yard line, facing second down and 13.
Most likely passing. You need the yardage. You need the 12 yards. And if it's incomplete, you stop the clock.
Three receivers to the right. Boone out of the gun. Has the snap. Back to throw. Rolling right. Looks downfield. Fires from the sideline. Has a man. A completion. Duplessis down to the 12-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup.
Berwick lost contain of the quarterback. The defensive end ran past the play and was buried by the lineman. Quarterback rolls to the right, still finds a receiver.
1st and 10 for the Cougars. From the 12, and the ball will be spiked by Boone, stopping the clock with 34.6 seconds remaining. So at the very least, Valley View should get 3 out of this possession. They'd want more than that, but they do have a good kicker, and they're in great field goal position at the Berwick 12.
Berwick could use a little talking to during this stoppage. Of course, it's not a timeout. Defense kind of muddling about, looking to the sideline. Coach, which defense do you want us in? White side of the field is to the offense's right, as they're moving from left to right as we view things from the press box. Eric Montez, defensive end, up on that side. Mason Lawbach, defensive end, here on the near side, need to contain this quarterback.
After a shift, Kudrick is the only running back, and a timeout, Valley View, their final timeout.
Oh.
And that's with 34.6 seconds to go. We'll keep it here. Now, if you're Valley View, you have to be a little bit careful. With no timeouts left, can you afford running plays? Because remember, if you're going to try a field goal, you've got to get that field goal unit out and get them set up. So you almost have to, I think, go to the end zone here.
I think you go to the end zone, and you're glad that you have a quarterback who can scramble very well. White side of the field is to the left. He prefers scrambling to his right, but you're going to talk to them now. They were running out of clock, Jim. Remember, they just kind of spiked the ball. So they still have that 25-second clock running, and they were going to suffer a penalty. I don't know. I might have suffered the 5 yards to keep that last timeout in my pocket. You get a little panicky, though, on that call. So you see it running down, you waste that last timeout, and you hope that the field position helps you as you approach the end zone here in the red zone. Yeah, I think they have to throw on every down. They can't suffer the sack unless they quickly get back and spike it. It's just not a good situation. Again, ball's on the right hash, and this is the quarterback who prefers going to his right, which would be the short side of the field. I think he has the ability to go either way. It's just that he has a tendency to prefer, as most right-handed quarterbacks would, going to his right.
Here we go. The ball at the Berwick 12-yard line. Second down, Cougars, 34.6 seconds remaining in the half.
Very tight splits in the line. Not going to be able to blitz through it.
Boone under center. Toss. And then a pass back to Boone, who's wide open at the 10-yard line and gets in for the touchdown. The toss went to Mark Kudrick, and he threw the ball to quarterback Jonathan Boone. They get a touchdown from 12 yards out with 25.7 seconds to go in the half.
You know, Joey Lynn, I think, saw it coming. He saw the quarterback take it and then kind of try to filter through the line, and he gave him a shot. And then all of a sudden, after he let him go, he started chasing that man, maybe looking into the backfield. You can see the man was pulling up to throw it, and the quarterback's a legal receiver. By then, Janasa Boone, too far away to make the play on him, scores easily as the ball's lofted into his hands.
Cam Cicciotti will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Dylan Hawanitz. Valley View has really made a statement in this opening half here at Crispin Field. Snap placement, flags down, as the kick was good, but we'll have to check the flag.
The point after is good.
I don't think it's going to make any difference in Valley View if they have to back up a bit.
No, he has quite a leg, and the timing on the play is wonderful. Snap, hold, it's down, kick is off. Berwick really can't put any type of rush on it because the execution of the timing is so strong. Penalty most likely on Berwick as Valley View is left for their sideline. We'll probably see something. Another personal foul roughing the kicker this time against Berwick. We'll see it on the kickoff.
25.7 seconds remaining in the half. Valley View stunning Berwick by a score of 21-0. And Andy, a couple of things that are surprising this half. One, with the way that Valley View has dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
But the other, Janasa Boone just makes a tremendous difference for Valley View. It gives them a whole new dimension than they had a year ago.
46 yards rushing. He has 5 completed passes, and what I see is 8 attempts. Touchdown in there. And now he becomes the receiver of a pass. They keep enough trickery into the game to kind of excite the team, and it keeps the other defense very, very loose. You know, here's a point where you onside kick it, Jim. The 15-yard penalty crosses the 50-yard line to the Berwick 45. I would certainly onside kick this, hope to recover it with the, kicking ability of Valley View's kicker and Cam Cicciotti.
Well, maybe he's be aiming for Mulberry Street. We'll
he
see.
might. He could probably put this one right out of the stadium if he so chooses. I'd be surprised if he kicks long, it doesn't hit the wall back there.
From the Berwick 45. The kick will come up a little bit short of the wall, but it goes as a touchback, and the Bulldogs will have it with 25.7 seconds remaining in the first half.
I think what you pretty much do is look to a kneel down here or something very safe. The worst thing that can happen is you make a mistake. The risk of that is a lot higher, of making a mistake and giving this team a chance for a field goal, than for you going the 80 yards down and getting points. We'll see how Frank Sheptock chooses to play it.
Berwick with 2 timeouts remaining. I don't think they'll do anything with those, as they will line up out of the pistol. as the give on the play is to Shoemaker, and he'll pick up just a yard off the left side to the 20-yard line. I think it's one of those plays where you give Shoemaker a try. He's capable of bursting one. If he does, then you do something. Now you just go to the half house. First half is history here at Crispin Field with the score. Valley View 21 and Berwick nothing. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Hi, everyone. You can buy a new vehicle anywhere, but Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has won the prestigious Customer First Award 2 years in a row. Why? Because we have the best prices and the very best customer service in the area. During Ram Power Days, you can get over $15,000 in total values on select new 2018 Ram 1500s. You heard me right, over $15,000. Or lease a 4x4 Ram Express for just $149 a month. We are your Ram headquarters with over 100 Rams available. It's also Jeep Adventure Days, so you can save thousands on that new Jeep you've been thinking about. Lease a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $249 a month. The model year-end sale going on now at Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 2 locations, Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. And as always, it's Fairfield for the best deals.
Leases are for 24 and 36 months. $29.99 to assigning, 0 security deposit. Offer ends October 1st. See deal for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
When you need the services of a professional law firm, you need the law offices of Lutz & Petty at 916 West Front Street in Berwick. Lutz & Petty is your hometown choice for elder law and asset protection, criminal law, estate planning, real estate, and personal injury. The full-service legal team of Lutz & Petty takes this opportunity to wish the Berwick Bulldogs a successful and injury-free season. Call them at 570-218-4888. The law offices of Lutz & Petty, protecting you. Go Dogs!
When you refer to local, one name should be top of mind. Steph Subs.
Yeah!
Steph has been serving the local community for over 35 years on the corner of Main and East Streets, serving the local high school athletes, serving the university, and serving local leaders and residents. Steph understands the importance of buying local, the impact of supporting the community. So when you're looking for lunch, dinner, or anything in between, buy local at Steph Subs, 150 East Main Street, Bloomsburg. Keep your money in your community. And proudly supports WHLM.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Halftime from Crispin Field in Berwick. This matchup of high school football unbeaten has been dominated by the Cougars of Valley View. They lead Berwick by a score of 21-0. And a reminder, you're listening to the halftime show brought to you by the law offices of Lutz and Petty. Well, Valley View got on the board in their second possession, capping a 7-play, 72-yard scoring drive on a 1-yard touchdown run by Mason Cordish. 2 big plays along the way. A 34-yard pass from Janasa Boone to Jaden Duplessis, and a 33-yard run by the Valley View quarterback, Janasa Boone. After the Mason Cordish touchdown run, Cam Chipcote kicked the extra point. Valley View led 7-0, 4:13 to go in the first quarter. They added to that lead late in the quarter. 10.9 seconds remaining. Boone on a 28-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Hawanitz. A big penalty on Berwick along the way. In fact, the Bulldogs have killed themselves with penalties through this first half. 8 for 109 yards, and one was influential in 2 of the 3 Valley View scores, and it probably kept Berwick off the board with a key penalty down near the goal line when the Berwick had their best scoring opportunity. But anyhow, after 1 quarter play, Valley View led by a score of 14-0. And then they added to that lead with a bit of trickery with 25.7 seconds to go in the half at the Berwick 12-yard line. The quarterback, Boone, pitched the ball to Mark Kudrick, a 6'3", 180-pound senior. Boone, meanwhile, faded to the left as a wide receiver, caught the pass, got in for the touchdown. Just before the half ended, Chakotay again with the extra point. And that's how we stand here at halftime. Valley View 21 and Berwick nothing. Stay with us during this halftime show. We'll have stats with Andy Lickney and scores with Raven Klein. But it's 21-0 here. Berwick trailing Valley View, and you're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLN.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 XL Sport for just $379 a month, or 0% financing on all Ford SUVs. At Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln, Route 11 Berwick.
Lease is 10,500 miles per year for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Call 877-788-6045 for lease details. Offer expires 9/30/18.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 60 years of service, can handle all of your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete and lightweight block. They have front-end discharge trucks for ready-mix concrete. Riverview Block also carries all masonry supplies, sand and gravel. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block 752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Custom-built LED signs, vehicle graphics, custom wraps, banners, screen printing, mugs, t-shirts, business signs, magnets, hats, embroidery, stand-ups, indoor signage, and custom car accents. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Family-owned and operated since the turn of the century. All work is produced in-shop. DeFevo does not sell products that they do not make, and that equals quality control. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. On Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick at 7553 Columbia Boulevard, or online at DeFevoGraphics.com. And don't forget DeFevos for yard signs during the upcoming political season.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptalk. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Great crowd on hand for this battle of unbeaten. The Valley View marching band entertaining here at halftime at Crispin Field, with Valley View leading Berwick by a score of 21-0. Stats from the opening half, Andy Lickman.
Well, we're seeing about 70 yards of difference between Valley View and Berwick, but 21 points in difference on the scoreboard. Valley View has been able to amass 220 yards, Berwick 151. 70 yards is significant, but not a 21-point difference. The big thing has been the penalties, Jim, and you've given the number. We've talked to sports writers up here. 8 penalties for Berwick, 109 yards assessed against them, and that just can't happen. You're not going to beat a good team giving them 109 more yards. Slaps that on to Valley View's halftime offensive stats, and 220 goes up to 330 yards at halftime. And that's the reality of the field position of it, and it's put Berwick in holes they can't dig out of offensively and get points themselves. For Berwick, it's been a little frustrating. They have gotten the ground game going, 18 rushes for 137, but they're often been forced into passing downs. Owen Shoemaker's come in with a lot of different looks. He's not always the singleton back behind Alex Forrest. We've seen him a lot on wings, a lot in motion, and he's looked good. Nice game plan, 7 carries for 52 yards for Owen Shoemaker. On pace for a 100-yard game if they could run him more. But down 21-0, and with so many down and distance situations against them, you can't just stick with the running game. Running as well, Tegan Wilk, 2 carries for 13. Aiden Mason's looked good, 4 carries. He's often been the singleton back in Owen Shoemaker's spot. 4 carries for 43 yards for him, and running primarily inside the guards. And then Alex Forrest himself, the quarterback, suffered a sack. He's been pressured. He's shown some escapability. But 4 carries for 33 yards doesn't have him winning the quarterback rushing contest, which is being featured in this one. Passing, I have Alex Forrest as 3 of 5. Alex Sharkuski caught a 9-yard pass. Jake Maurer caught 2, one right at the line of scrimmage and another one for 5 yards. So minimal in the passing game with 14 yards, 137 on the ground. I have Berwick with 151 yards in offense, but 109 yards in penalties. If you want to look at it differently, subtract it from the 151. And it's just situations that cannot occur. They have also taken away long runs that Berwick has had and big plays that Berwick has had that don't show up on the stat sheet because those plays have been washed away. Berwick's defense has struggled. I'm surprised. I've called it almost an all-star at every position, but Valley View refused to be intimidated by that. And they've been taking it to these guys that I've called all-stars. Their offensive line has been stellar. They're beating the one-on-one battles or some double teams at the point of attack. They're exploding off the football, and they're giving their runners the lanes. Mason Kordich, 12 carries for 70 yards on the ground for him. Trayon Jones was brought in for one play, and the timing of it at the end of the half surprised me. He lost 2 yards on that, had no offensive rhythm at all. TJ Noto, the fullback, carried once for 2 yards. Dylan Hawanis had a carry early in the game for a yard. And then the quarterback, Janasa Boone, he has 46 yards on 6 rushes. He's proven elusive when he goes to pass. He seems to get the corners. When they've designed plays to let him run, they've blocked and given him the corners, and he's been the factor. Janasa Boone, 6 rushes, 46 yards. And don't discount his passing. The team is 6 completes in 9 attempts for 103 yards. Janasa Boone caught one of those, a 12-yard pass from Mark Kuderick. A little trickery down in the end zone as this team has shown an ability to go to back of the playbook for a number of calls in the course of this game, making the quarterback become a receiver, paid dividends right at the end of the half with a 12-yard touchdown. Zach Kavalich has a 7-yard catch. Dylan Hawanis, a 28-yard touchdown catch. And Jaden Duplessis, he has 3 catches for 56. Add them all up, 103 in the air, 107 on the ground. Is a very balanced offensive attack. 220 yards for Valley View. Compare it to Berwick's with 151. And then again, look at those penalty numbers, 109 yards. Whether you add them to Valley View or take them off of Berwick's, it really changes what's a 70-yard difference to a 170-yard difference in total offense if you factor in the penalties.
And Andy, you could argue this could be a 7-7 game if had Berwick controlled those penalties. It kept the Bulldogs off the board. The time that they threatened when they had the ball at the 3-yard line ended up having back past the 30. It aided in 2 of the touchdown drives by Valley View. So Valley View is the better team through one half. They played better, but those penalties could make this a lot tighter game.
Berwick's been outplayed. That you can certainly see, and I think that's the most disappointing aspect of it, along with the penalties that shouldn't happen. But Berwick's defense is being blocked, and when teams do that to you, you're in trouble. Now, one thing you can do is hold the ball offensively and not let Valley View get the ball. Rest that defense. Get them out of their offensive rhythm. Don't let them run those trick plays. Don't give them as many opportunities to run plays if you maintain some drives on your own. And Berwick's offense looks like they can move it on the Valley View defense. The problem is the penalties have been the thing that's just stalled the drives out, and they're not giving themselves the opportunity to take on a team which right now is playing better, but you can still play with them and you can still beat them if you don't keep hurting yourself.
Bulldogs will get the football to start the second half, but they trail here at the break. It is Valley View 21 and Berwick nothing. Scores upcoming. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick and at their South Center storage facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 XL Sport for just $379 a month, or 0% financing on all Ford SUVs. At Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln, Route 11 Berwick.
Lease is 10,500 miles per year for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Call 877-788-6045 for lease details. Offer expires 9/30/18.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the high school football scoreboard, all scores are at half. At halftime, Central Columbia leads Danville 21-14. Lewisburg leads Bloomsburg 22-7. Southern Columbia leads South Williamsport 42-6. Hazleton area and Delaware Valley are tied at 21. Dallas leads Coughlin 21-0. Selinsgrove leads Loyalsox 21-7. Mount Carmel leads Mifflinburg 28-0. Jersey Shore leads Shamokin 22-6. Tamaqua leads Pottsville 14-0. West Scranton leads Pittston-area 21-14. North Schuylkill leads Jim Thorpe 8-0. Central Mountain leads Shikellamy 3-0. Wyoming Valley West and Wallenpaupack are tied at 14. Williamsport leads Scranton 13-7. And Northwest leads GAR 36-0. A quick announcement, the Columbia Montour Votech versus Sayre game has been moved to tomorrow, Saturday. The WHLM High School Football Scoreboard is a service of Zimmerman Insurance in Bloomsburg. Qualified answers from local people. For WHLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog football.
HLM.
And ready for the start of the second half here at Crispin Field, with Berwick trailing Valley View by a score of 21-0. Bulldogs will try to get some offense moving. They will get the football to start this second half. As Andy went through the stats, Berwick has moved the football. It's not like they've been shut down, but you can't get behind the sticks with the 15 and the 10-yard penalties and make it up. At one point, it looked like the Bulldogs had a first and goal at the 3, but a penalty brought them way back to the 18-yard line, and from there it just got worse.
Yeah, I think you have to be patient, Jim. I think what you have to do is get the football, take your time, establish the drive. You can't panic. Valley View got 21 points in the half. Berwick can get 21 points as well. But you do want to play the ball control game, try to keep it away from Valley View, and then defensively they have to step it up. Strategically, there aren't that many things you can do. You can try different blitzes and different twists and keep them off of you, but you know, this is a team that prides itself in its weight room strength, and you got to be able to explode into people and hold them off from moving you. And you know, right now it's Valley View that's able to thump their chest and say, hey, we're the dominant team. We're moving Berwick off the football. So it's fundamentals, and you have to kind of suck it up. I don't know what it is. You develop more intensity, develop more pride, or develop more off-season weight room strength. Because right now, Valley View is winning the battle in the trenches.
Well, that offensive line has come as advertised for Valley View. In addition to them, I mentioned the multi-dimensions that running quarterback, Jonathan Boone, gives to them. And also Mason Cordish is a very impressive running back.
Impressive runner? Yes, he is, especially behind this offensive line. He has the style to run behind this line. They're going to give you that seam. You put your head down and assume it's going to be there. You don't need to dance. You don't need the vision. They're going to create it. He makes it happen. Plus, again, the play selection, the trick plays, flea flickers, passes to the quarterback, and other plays have kept Berwick off balance.
Cam Ciccone will kick it off. Berwick moving from our right to our left. 21-0 Cougars. The second half underway. The kick high and deep and right at the goal line. The ball is dropped by Tegan Wilk and then picked up. And he'll run it to the left side. He's over the 20 to the 25 to the 30 to the 35, the 40, and out to the 45-yard line. What a terrific return by Tegan Wilk.
It was.
Just what the doctor ordered for Berwick to start this second half.
I don't know if he misplayed it, Jim. The ball was going to come on a little bit of a bounce, and he kind of got his hand out to stop it from going into the end zone. Once he did that, he himself was able to step into the end zone, pick it up, and move it forward. So no touchback. He brought it up the left side. He had one good cut that really extended the run. A fine return, and that's the field position Berwick would like to start this second half.
That play may have come with a price, though, because shaken up on the play is Tegan Wilk, and they're looking at him on the sideline as Berwick runs the play without him. Force keeps the football, scrambling around, nowhere to go, and he will get the yard, maybe two, on the play as he was brought down by Kevin Duffy, 5'9", 170-pound senior, kind of a undersized defensive end, but gets the job done there. 2-yard gain for Force, 2nd and 8 Berwick.
Getting a little too fancy. He's rolling to the right. It's really not there. He might have been able to tuck it and get the 2 yards straight ahead. Instead of reversing the field and deep in the backfield as he does it, still manages 2 yards, but a little more dangerous with all the running around.
Second down for the Bulldogs as the give straight ahead to Aiden Mason. He gets just a couple to midfield, pick up about 3 on the play. The first third down situation facing Berwick in the second half, 3rd and 5.
But manageable. It's not the 3rd and 15 we've been seeing. It's a pass or run situation. Shoemaker had been offset. He is again in a slot this time.
3rd down call coming. Force out of the pistol. Shoemaker started in motion and stops and comes back. Snap hasn't been made yet. Slot to either side. 3rd down call. Force back to throw. Big pass rush. Rolling right. Fires into traffic. The ball is caught by Blake Maurer inside the 40-yard line. Diving grab by Maurer in Valley View territory for a Berwick first down.
Blake Maurer had to go low. Caught it on the slide, but it's critical to move the chains. Quarterback flushed again as a man zips on through. Alex Force rolls to the right. Throws against his body a little bit and catches Blake Maurer, who holds on to the low throw.
11 yards on the reception. 1st and 10 Berwick at the Valley View 39-yard line. Shoemaker, slot to the left side. Aiden Mason gets the call straight ahead. Nice effort by him inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
It's unique to see the freshman busting the middle the way normally Owen Shoemaker would do so. But Shoemaker has a distraction and in motion, and eventually he'll get a pitch and take it wide. Will be set up by these dives by Blake Mason. That's now his 6th carry, and give him 52 yards.
Aiden Mason, the only freshman on the Berwick roster. 2nd down and 4 from the Valley View 33. Sharkowski comes to motion. A bad snap, and Force gets on it back at the 38-yard line. It's one of those games where Berwick has a possession and they have something going. You just keep waiting for the mistake to come. There was the mistake, and again, they're behind the sticks where they should have had a good situation. Now it's a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they had Shoemaker behind, and it looked like he was going to dive straight ahead and try to pound it. But instead it goes through the quarterback's legs back to Owen Shoemaker.
3rd down and 8. Force back to throw. Looking long for Robbins, who makes the catch inside the 20-yard line. Preston Robbins on the grab. Force was urging his team to snap the football as Valley View was not ready for that play. And if the pass had been led a little more, it would have been a touchdown.
Justin Robbins was there and take the safe throw. Let it go up there and make the short catch rather than try to lead it and have him miss it.
22 yards on the reception to Justin Robbins, and we have a timeout called by Berwick. 8:47 to go, 3rd quarter. Valley View 21, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Quality care for your dental health at Berwick Dental Arts, 105 West 9th Street in Berwick. State-of-the-art equipment comes together with a tradition of 45 years of personalized care. From the youngest to the oldest patient, let Berwick Dental Arts doctors and staff take care of every aspect of your dental needs. They'll process all types of insurances. Make your appointment today. Call Berwick Dental Arts friendly staff at 752-4542. Berwick Dental Arts, making smiles beautiful.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Still a lot of time remaining in this football game, but Berwick desperately needs a score. They trail Valley View in this battle of unbeaten 21-0. Following the Berwick timeout, Bulldogs with a first down at the Valley View 16-yard line. Got there via a 22-yard pass completion, Alex Force to Justin Robbins.
I like the fact that he saw it, Jim, and he hustled his team to go to what I said. The defense often hasn't been ready, and Berwick seems to wait for them. Not in that case, and he put it up and made the safe catch. They'll finish the drive here.
Robbins is wide to the left side. Force out of the pistol. Shoemaker behind him from the 16-yard line. Force fakes the Shoemaker, keeps the football, trying to get outside left, and we'll see where they mark the football. He's out of bounds. Looks like the 11-yard line. So good first down carry for Alex Force.
Yes, it is. Look of option. Owen Shoemaker's a threat. Just seeing him as the Singleton back. Right it in his stomach and then continued down to the left short side. Tried to turn the corner, lost his footing a little bit.
Second down and 5. Sharkuski wide to the right. Robbins comes in motion. The give straight ahead to Shoemaker. He's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. He's going to bring up third down and short for Berwick inside the Valley View 10.
A smart give. There's some natural seams in this defense. I think they saw it on the pre-snap read, and Owen Shoemaker maximizes it. I'd look to continue the runs on this drive.
Third down and 2 at the Valley View 8-yard line. Force gives to Shoemaker straight ahead, and he'll get to the 5-yard line, and he'll get a Berwick first down.
Critical. Now the discipline. Don't let anything happen. No mistakes, no bad snaps, no negative play.
And good news for Berwick, not just because they've got a first to go at the 5, but Tegan Wilk, who was injured on that kickoff to start the half, is back in there. He's in a slot to the right side. Aiden Mason is the running back behind Force in the pistol. Shoemaker in a slot to the left. From the 5-yard line, Shoemaker comes in motion. And Force keeps the football and loses yardage back to the 7-yard line.
Impact player Trayon Jones, Jim. They talked about him as the blitz man coming hard from the corner. They dialed up that blitz, and Trayon Jones came hard around the outside. By the time Alex Force got through the fake, he was on him, spinning him around.
Second and goal for Berwick, but the ball back at the Valley View 7-yard line. Mason again, the running back behind Force in the pistol. Shoemaker comes in motion, a toss to Shoemaker. He's sweeping the right side. He's inside the 5. Shoemaker is in for a touchdown. Owen Shoemaker from 7 yards out, and Berwick's on the board.
Nice job in the stock blocks. Tegan Wilk out wide on that side. Got enough interference so that Shoemaker could break it inside of him, get into the end zone before the man wrapped him up. So Berwick earns a touchdown on a drive, not quite mistake-free, but free of enough mistakes to get the points.
Force had some big plays along the way. The 11-yard completion to Blake Bauer, the 22-yard pitch to Justin Robbins. Now the extra point from Jarrett Groshek. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field. 7:12 to go, third quarter. Valley View 21, Berwick 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Personal.
I'll have a soy latte with 2 sugars, please.
Yeah, I'd like a turkey on rye with lettuce. Hold the mayo.
Can I get that in magenta, size medium?
Your debit card should be just as personal. With First Columbia Bank's new Design It photo card feature, you can customize your debit card to look just the way you want. Upload your favorite photo or choose from a gallery of photos and designs to order up a debit card that is just as personal as your purchases. Details at firstcolumbiabank.com.
First Columbia Bank.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick, HLM.
Berwick offense is on the board. They open the second half on an 11-play, 55-yard scoring drive. Owen Shoemaker in from 7 yards out for the touchdown. For the senior running back, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. 21-7 is the Valley View lead. And now it'll be up to the Berwick defense to get something going here in the third.
And it's a question of cranking up the intensity. Each player has to look at himself and say, hey, I have to do better. I physically have to do better. I can't get blown off the ball. I have to anticipate that snap count. I have to see movement. I have to be a little bit quicker. I have to explode in and hold off these blockers from moving me. And they're capable of doing it.
Kovalchik and Coombs deep for the Cougars as the kick by Groshek sails out of bounds off the sideline. So it'll be good field position for the Cougars to start their first possession of this second half.
A lot of teams by design try to corner kick it. And too many teams, by lack of design, kick it out of bounds on that same side. So yes, it will be pretty good field position for Valley View to start. They don't have to earn it with the return.
Well, they of course have the option of having Berwick kick it again. It looks like that's the way they're going to go.
Yeah, you get one bad kick, you can assume another. The penalty, though, putting it out to the 35-yard line is pretty stiff. I'm surprised they're not taking it, but they feel they have quality return men, same as Berwick feels they have quality return men. They want to give them an opportunity.
Chase Combs and Zach Kovalchik deep for Valley View. As Jared Groshek will try it again. His kick high and deep, and Coombs back at the 10-yard line. Takes it to the far side of the field at the 20, and Alex Sharkuski wraps him up at the 30, so they end up losing 5 on the deal. Do the Cougars who will get it for the first time in this second half. 7:05 remaining in the third, and Valley View leading Berwick 21-7.
George Johannes decides to roll the dice and have them kick it again. It's a 5-yard difference. You say, hey, I wanted the shot. That's just the way it goes.
Cougars had some big plays from scrimmage in this opening half. They have it at the 30. Their first snap of this second half. Boone under center. Cordish, the lone running back behind him. Boone's going to keep it himself and sweep the left side, and not much doing. That play was effective. He gained some good yardage in that first half. Not this time to start the second half.
Blaine Cleaver comes up and takes the dive back and really punishes him. You have to play that on the fake anyway. But such an impact hit kind of helps blow up the play when the quarterback keeps it wide.
They give him a yard to the 31-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Valley View. Well, this would be a big 3-and-out for Berwick. They had a chance to really get the momentum going their way. I formation. No. Is the fullback, head of Cordish. Comes Kudrick in motion. The call goes to Cordish, and Cordish will get a couple, and that's all.
Joe Lynn. Berwick actually came crashing through. 3 different players overran the play that's a handoff. But Joe Lynn sees it as he's behind that, makes the tackle just about a yard. So well done defensively so far. They need the 3rd down stop.
3rd and 7. Valley View at their own 33-yard line. Jaden Duplessis brings in a play from the sideline from head coach George Johannes. See what Berwick can dial up defensively in this 3rd and 7. Boone out of the gun. Trips to the left side. Boone has the snap. dumps the pass off the left side. Berwick is all over the play. They'll get to the line of scrimmage, and that is all.
Tegan Wilk, J.J. Snyder, Blaine Cleaver. Tegan Wilk was over to play the trips on the right side, and they just threw a sort of a lateral pass. Tegan Wilk saw the quarterback release, and again, that guided missile with the explosive payload comes up hard and makes the play.
Cornish caught the pass for just a yard gain, and now back to punt is Zach Kowalczyk, the sophomore, standing back at the Valley View 20-yard line. Snap a little bit high, gets the kick away, but barely. Jarkowski was in there. A fair catch called for at the 37-yard line by Blake Maurer. So Berwick gets the football, trailing 21-7, 4:42 to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs scored on their first possession of this second half. Then they get a 3-and-out, and now they take over the football. They're marking it at the 36.
Berwick imploring the fans to support them, and you can hear that difference in the cheers. Berwick did drive it down to start the half. No reason they can't feel they can do it again.
Owen Shoemaker is out there. Justin Robbins, Jarkowski, and Maurer are in a slot to the left side. Robbins wide to the right, out of the pistol from the 36-yard line. Shoemaker the call. Up the gut. Good second and third effort. How did he get to the 41-yard line? You saw a pile of white jerseys, and the pile kept moving.
I don't know if that was assisted by a push or not, but Owen Shoemaker just kept coming and coming and coming. Shoemaker, though, hurt on the play, reaching down to his left ankle as the training staff comes out.
So a great effort by him, but he pays the price, a 5-yard gain for Shoemaker as they tend to him with 4:21 to go in the third.
Strategically, they've been using him very effectively. The game plan was to have him gain attention. A lot of the first half, they had him in the slot. They had him as a wing. Occasionally, they'd run him some half-moon motion and sweep with him, and his speed was surprisingly effective. But penalties stalled all the drives. They'd occasionally put him back into his normal spot, but normally it was Aiden Mason there. With Shoemaker coming out for at least the play, and maybe more, Berwick's going to have to make some adaptations to the game plan that they did want to go with.
The last time I remember seeing something similar to what Owen Shoemaker just did, moving the pile by himself, was right here at Crispin Field, the game against Pittston area, and the running back was Mike Vitti. He was not playing offense at the time because of an injury. He was playing just on defense, but they needed a first down. They gave it to him, and you just saw that Pittston line moving, and that was the case here. I think Owen Shoemaker pretty much did that on his own.
Moved the pile, and then somehow, found a little gap of daylight to almost squirt out of the pile. But behind, someone down on the ankle or falling on the ankle. Shoemaker is sitting up, but the training staff still working on him. You can see the pain in his face as they are doing that work.
I hope this is nothing that's going to keep him out for any amount of time. He's very, very valuable to this Berwick team, obviously. They still have 4:21 to go in the third to try to make up this 14-point deficit. He is up on his feet, walking very, very gingerly. He goes to the sideline.
Seems like a twisted right ankle. It's a question of, how badly it's twisted, how, soon his body can rejuvenate. It might be, later in the quarter, fourth quarter. It may not be for 3 weeks. It's hard to determine the extent of those injuries.
It is encouraging, though, to see him walking on his own power off to the sideline. He got the 5 yards. The tough way, Berwick 2nd and 5. They come immediately to the line of scrimmage. It is their own 41-yard line. Force has Aiden Mason behind him and trips to the left side. Force is going to option left. Pitches the ball to Jarkowski, a bad pitch. And Force gets on it back at the 39-yard line. They'll lose 2. Good pitch, and they'll gain some yardage on that play. But it went behind Jarkowski.
I think we have a flag, Jim, in the secondary, and we have a Valley View player down. So I don't know if he took a late hit or what, but this will be sorted out. You're right. They faked dive one way. We're going to call it an illegal shift, I believe, against Berwick on that penalty. But why would it be thrown by the umpire? A little surprising by where the flag was to see that being the call. You're right, a better pitch, but that's the danger of running option. We haven't seen Alex Force run a lot of option. He's done enough. I think sometime it's predetermined when he's going to pitch or not. It wasn't a great pitch relationship. You would have liked
That's
to see.
not a shift penalty.
Oh, my.
That is not a shift penalty. This is a big penalty back to the 24-yard line. So it's a 15-yard penalty. Now Berwick, 9 penalties, 124 yards.
They gave the illegal shift sign. Maybe there were 2 penalties, and they took the second of the 2. But you're right, 15 yards is huge.
Slot to the right, wide receiver left. So Berwick trying to overcome a penalty, and that has been the theme of this game as Force operates out of the pistol. Fakes handoff, keeps the football. Trying to get outside left, nothing there. Dealt it out of bounds. Will stop the clock. A gain of a yard or 2. 3:41 to go in the third. Berwick appeared to have some momentum going. They had the touchdown, and they had possession at their own 41-yard line, but invariably tonight they have killed themselves with penalties. That's a 3-yard pickup by Force. Third down, and some serious acreage for the Bulldogs.
Valley View's come well with blitzes. They've pressured the quarterback.
Flag down on the play.
Movement, and it looks to be against Berwick. We'll see a 5-yard walk-off here.
Make it 10 penalties for 129 yards. And we still have 3:41 to go in the third.
Frank Sheptock not happy with the penalty being called. Didn't see movement. He usually stands at the line of scrimmage and watches the ball.
So now it is third down and 23 for Berwick, back at their 23-yard line.
Third 23.
Slot to the right, slot to the left. Force out of the gun. Give straight ahead. Aiden Mason is brought down after a short gain, 2 yards to the 25-yard line. So again, a penalty stops any chance for Berwick, and the punt team will come on, and they'll probably be giving up good field position to Valley View.
Yeah, most likely, Jim. Again, you flip things when you give up that penalty yardage. And without Owen Shoemaker, they've lost a big cog in their offensive scheme.
Chase Combs, Alex Sakov, back deep. Kick is very, very high by Sharkuski. Coombs over midfield to the Berwick 45, to the 40, hit hard there. But Valley View will have terrific field position and a chance to add to a 21-7 lead with 2:53 remaining in this third quarter.
He slid by a couple Berwick players, but then he suffered the wrath of Eric Montez and Mike Zalutko, who kind of both hit him in that helmet shoulder pad area and drove him back. But good field position.
Again, that penalty just ruining the Berwick drive and giving Valley View a great opportunity to add to their lead. Power I to the left side. Cordish is the tailback. Mason Cordish gets the call off the left side. Good running room before Blaine Cleaver can wrap him up at the 33-yard line. Good first down carry, second down and 5 for the Cougars.
Left side of the line, Snippus, Alco, and the center judge exploding into the play. Blaine Cleaver just trying to read, but has to backpedal to avoid his own defenders. Kind of catching Mason Cordish.
They mark it at the 32-yard line, so it is a second down and 4. 6-yard carry on first down by Cordish. Again, the power I to the left. Boone under center. Fakes, keeps the ball himself, tries to get outside left, does so, has the first down and then some as he gets to the Berwick 25-yard line. 7 yards in the carry by Jonathan Boone, who's done a great job at the quarterback controls for these Cougars. They mark it at the 26, give him 6, but it is a first down.
He's tough, but again, Berwick, the fundamentals. Their blockers are beating Berwick's defenders. Berwick can't get off and shed these blocks with the people up front. Everything moves about 5 yards downfield before anyone gets hit.
From the 26, tight power formation. Cordish the call behind those blockers. And he goes off the left side. A good first down carry near the 20.
Yes, it was. They're doing a lot of pulling with Mike Sebastianelli, number 77, who's in at right guard. Seems they want to run to the left side. They bring him to kind of turn up the hole ahead of Cordish. The other people on the left side are getting into their blocks and moving people. So right now it's just power football.
2nd down and 5. And that clock continues to run. 1:14 and counting in the 3rd. Valley View leading Berwick 21-7. 2nd and 5. Cougars from the Berwick 21. Boone fakes handoff, keeps the football, gets by Ryan Lawbaugh, gets outside to the 15, flag flies, he turns the corner, and he's hit out of bounds at about the 7-yard line.
They'll call a hold further downfield against Valley View, and that'll bring that back. Berwick blitzed, but got the wrong man. Quarterback kept it. Out he came. Again, they're not getting the contain that they need on that quarterback, who's just too dangerous. Now, helping them get that corner was the hold downfield a little bit. Ryan Lawbaugh got spun around, so they might have grabbed a hold of him and taken him off his route to make the tackle.
Mason Lawbaugh shaken up, limps off for Berwick. Penalty will bring it back to the Valley View 28-yard line. 7 yards altogether. It's a 2nd down and 12 for the Cougars.
Berwick needs an impact play. This team scores. Kind of makes the game tough to overcome the score.
Owen Shoemaker on the sideline now, running. So we may see him back. The call goes to Cordish, and he's wrapped up. Eric Montez with a terrific play from his defensive end position.
Able to shed his man, break to the inside. Almost losing contain, but after he got inside, came straight upfield, and that's where Cordish was. So, yes, a big tackle by Eric Montez there.
1 yard of the gain by Mason Cordish. 3rd down and 11. Valley View at the Berwick 27-yard line. Bulldogs need a defensive play to stay in this game.
Valley View's gone to the back of the playbook on some occasions. Watch for anything here.
Boone out of the gun. Cordish to his left. Man in motion left to right. Boone has the snap. He's rolling left. He fires at the last minute. Comeback catch inside the 15 and down around the 11-yard line.
Yeah, it's number 12, Jaden Duplessis, who was able to do that. Quarterback rolls to the left, has enough protection, and is able to square the shoulders and zip it. Duplessis ran down toward the goal and then came on back, creates separation with the cornerback. A nice call.
16 yards on the catch by Duplessis on what will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. With the score, Valley View 21, Berwick 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Choose with confidence. The Medicine Shop.
At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located at the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, caring goes beyond the prescriptions. Discover the one-on-one customer service and dedication that makes caring part of the culture at the Medicine Shop in Berwick. Stock up on everything you need to keep you and your family healthy all year long. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located on the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, where caring goes beyond the prescriptions.
Berwick Bulldog football. Berwick Bulldog football. HLM.
The roll to your left. throw with your right hand. Did a great job squaring those shoulders, getting the pass away for a big third down conversion.
His team let him get to the corner without the pressure.
Power I to the left side. Cordish, the tailback, gets the call. Huge hole off the right side. He will go in untouched. What a job of blocking by the right side for Valley View. You could see from our vantage point a massive hole off the right side. Cordish had very little to do with that 11-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, give him 96 on the game. Not sure of what blocking scheme, a cross block, or some kind of trapping play, but boy, Berwick had no one in the lane, no one to be seen. As they ran the A-gap off the right side, they just opened it up.
Cam Chakotay will attempt the extra point. First play of this fourth quarter results in a Valley View touchdown. Chakotay's kick is up, and the kick is good. Time on the field, 11:55 remaining in the game. Valley View 28 and Berwick 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Preseason, or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
One play into the fourth quarter, Valley View has stretched their lead to 28-7. On that correct extra point kick by Chakotay, there was a flag down on the play, and we'll see what that results in. I wouldn't think it could be anything good on the part of Berwick's part because they let the extra point go. It'll be 15 yards against the Bulldogs. Personal foul, and that makes it 11 penalties for 144 yards.
You're good at the math, Jim. Boy, Berwick, self-destructing. I never feel that an unsportsmanlike is allowable. I mean, as a coach, there's ways to stop that. Have a guy run 100 sprints if you have to.
If it was, PA announcer said personal foul, which is different.
But you've done something that's illegal that shouldn't be done, and it's on a PAT.
Valley View's Chakotay following his fourth extra point kick. Will have a chance to kick it out of the end zone, which he does, 10 yards deep, and Berwick will put the ball in play. Lots of time left, but the Bulldogs in a 3-touchdown hole, 28-7 as they take over at their 20.
Part of their success will be dependent upon the return of Owen Shoemaker, and you wonder how much you risk injuring him further in a game that seems to be almost unreachable. If he's fine and the ankle's okay and he's able to run, sure, put him back on in. He gives you a much better chance. But if he's not, if it's just a question of enduring the pain, and he is, that's probably what it is.
First and 10 Bulldogs. They move from our left to our right in this final period. They trail Valley View 28-7. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Force out of the gun, fires over the middle, has Tegan Wilk, and Wilk spun around. And I think they'll give him forward progress out near the 30. So Tegan Wilk gets involved in the passing game over the middle. They're going to mark him just short of the first down yardage at the 29.
We'll give him 9, his 14th catch of the season. He's always a good weapon to try to hit, try to get him in open field, but the tackler immediately upon him.
2nd and 1 for the Bulldogs from their 29. Man in motion. Call goes to Shoemaker, and he'll lose yardage. They are all over the play. Valley View has a very, very small defensive end, and Kevin Duffy's just 5'9", 170 pounds. You would think maybe you could exploit him, but he is tough.
Nope.
He made that play. A loss of a yard back to the 28. 3rd down and 2 for the Bulldogs. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Shoemaker's the running back behind Force in the pistol. He's back to throw as Alex Force, nothing there. Then fires a pass, diving attempt, and the catch made for a first down by Tegan Wilk. Nice play by Force to get outside, and a great play by Wilk to go down on the turf and pick it off for a 9-yard gain.
Another 9-yard gain. Hard roll to the right. While being chased, he has to throw on the run. An awkward angle to tip Tegan Wilk. It's slow, but Wilk puts on the brakes, slows, and makes the catch.
Back to throw is Force off play action. Big pass rush. He'll be sacked. Back inside the 30-yard line. Trayon Jones makes the play for Valley View.
He's their big-time playmaker. They like to blitz him from the corner. That time he came up the middle. There haven't been many times where Alex Force has been back to pass, where he hasn't been forced to scramble. That time he can't get away from the middle as Trayon Jones runs him down.
Second down and 19. Berwick back at their own 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. 1 to the left. Force dumps the pass out here to Wilk, and he's brought down for a loss at the 26-yard line. Jordan Consoretti read that one beautifully. As soon as the ball got to Tegan Wilk, Consoretti got to him, and it will be a catch for a loss of 3 back to the 27.
Now you make sure you know where Tegan Wilk is on the football field, and if you have him in one-on-one coverage or you sense him coming to your zone, you do start to zero in on him, and Consoretti did a wonderful job there.
Slot to the left, slot to the right. Force has the snap. Back to throw. Here comes a pass rush. He's in trouble, and he will be sacked inside the 15-yard line. They just kept coming, and Logan Burns, a 240-pound junior, will get the credit for the sack back at the 13-yard line.
Might be there a little bit too long, or the passes are going too far downfield, because that pass rush is coming. He seems to have happy feet a little, wants to get out of the way, and I don't blame him with those people coming. It's either get rid of the football sooner or call shorter pass routes.
Jarkowski will be back at the Berwick goal line awaiting the snap to get this punt away. The snap is a good one. Kick is away. Line drive kick. Coombs will field it over his shoulder, backpedals to the 35, to the 40, the 45 to midfield, and then is hit and dropped at the Berwick 45-yard line.
Mike Salutko coming up the middle would not let that go any further, played it physically. But Combs really nice on the return, bending away from tacklers and then coming up the near hash. Take that for about a 15-yard gain.
Next up for Berwick on the road at Hazleton area next Friday night. Hazleton area trying to even their record at 3 tonight. And in the third quarter, actually at the end of the third, they are tied with Delaware Valley 28-all. Dallas, meanwhile, on their way to remaining unbeaten as they lead Coughlin. In fact, this is a final 35-7. Dallas in that one. Cordish gets the call. Tries the right side, and he is brought down after a short gain on the play.
Naquan Smith really came up well, and he played that contained. Berwick had a man on the inside, pretty much pancaked. Berwick player down opposite the side of the tackle, maybe cramping up.
Smith with a good defensive play. Second down and 10. Again, the implications of this score, if it holds up, is still 8:19 to go. Valley View will move past Berwick into second place in those standings. Quad A, District 2. Ben Peck is the injured player for the Bulldogs, and he is being helped off. Meanwhile, it'll be second down and 9 for Valley View at the Berwick 44-yard line.
Will Decker working his way into that defensive front instead of Beck. Valley View going with power I, Jim. I think they realize they can protect a 28-7 lead. They've been pushing Berwick off the football. You might see more of a vanilla attack just to protect things.
Cordish is the tailback in the eye. Rosina comes in motion to the left. Cordish gets the call, hit behind the line, makes a move or two, and then is wrapped up as he gets to about the 42-yard line. Mason Lawbaugh makes the tackle. There is a flag down on the play.
Mason Lawbaugh making a tackle, but from his defensive end spot, he has to turn and run back to the linebacker area to catch the man about 3-4 yards downfield.
Face mask call against Berwick. So this will be another long walk-off against the Bulldogs.
Another major penalty, walking off.
It's tough. It's tough. You know, it's tough enough stopping this team, but when you give them the additional yardage, you can't always help it. You know, face mask to those type of penalties where you're trying to bring a man down. Cordish is slippery. He has a way of contorting his body to get away from potential hits, and sometimes you're grabbing at anything you can. The face mask adds to the massive penalty yardage Berwick has accrued in the course of this game.
12 penalties, 159 yards. 1st and 10. Valley View at the Berwick 27-yard line. Boone's going to keep it himself. Gets outside right, and he's got running room. Tries to straight arm Keegan Wilk. Wilk able to get him out of bounds, but not before a good first down carry by Janasa Boone.
And he just kind of rolled to the right, looked at the play. I don't even know if he wanted to run, but he just saw he can get to the sideline. Again, they're getting the corner with ease. There's no perimeter defense. And until Tegan Wilk runs him down, he's just about at the chains for a first down.
9-yard carry by Boone. The ball at the 18-yard line. 2nd down and 1 for Valley View. Rosina is the tight end to the right side. I formation behind Boone. Cordish, the tailback, gets the call. Burst through the line. Inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Mason Cordish is a terrific running back. He's got good slashing moves, but boy, he is the beneficiary of a terrific performance by this offensive line.
Yeah, that time they ran over to left guard Alco. There was a defender who was kind of lunging at the play and almost tripped him up, but he's able to high step over that as they set themselves down in scoring position.
11 yards and the carry by Cordish. Berwick has held some very, very good running backs in check during the course of this season, like Trey Potts and Carson Canavan. But Cordish having a big night for the Cougars from the 7. He gets it again off the right side, inside the 5, legs churning close to the goal line. And a flag down. We're going to have a flag down against the Cougars. Deep in the end zone. A player just kept blocking and blocking and blocking well after the play. And this flag's going to go the other way.
Have to stop at the whistle. But again, Berwick demoralized. Seams are being created. The line is opening things up. Cordish is taking advantage. That run would have put him over 100 yards for the game. I have him at 97.
Oh, they're going to call offsetting. I don't know what the player that was getting blocked after the whistle did or was supposed to do in that case.
And they're going to call it after the whistle, so the run will count.
Well, no, the ball was...
They're leaving it down there.
At the 1-yard line. So we'll keep it here with 7:08 remaining.
So how much on the run, Jim? Because that's a 100-yard game.
6 yards.
For 6 yards, so give him 103. And just turned back from getting on in. I like the way he runs. He's a tough-nosed kid, straight-ahead type of runner. It's an offense that says, we're going to open the hole here, you hit it here, and he has that mindset to do it. Now, he might shift himself half a hole, or he might move to avoid a tackler or take the tackler on differently. It's an offense that I always liked. A lot of the newfangled offenses, it's sort of zone reads. You create the hole wherever it happens to open. You use the vision. And they're nice, too. You know, they have their place. But old school, we're going to open the A-gap for you. You run that A-gap. We're going to make sure it's there. I see sort of a purity of football in that style.
So after the offsetting penalties, the ball at the Berwick 1-yard line. Again, I was looking deep in the end zone. I wasn't sure which Valley View player it was, but he kept blocking and blocking and blocking Preston Robbins. I did not see Robbins react to that, but there had to be something, or at least in the minds of the officials, something that called as Boone goes off the left side and goes in standing up for the score as Valley View builds the lead with 7:06 to go.
E.J. Alco off the left, Johnny Sneppes. No one really there for Berwick as they're kind of bunched up on the inside. They just kind of block on down, and the quarterback takes it, rolls in that direction, and sees the opening and takes it in standing.
Boone has done it all. He's thrown for touchdowns. He's run for touchdowns. He's caught a touchdown in this game.
I have him with 63 yards rushing. We'll get his passing numbers later. He was 6 of 8, or actually 5 of 7, and now 2 completes in this half.
Cody's extra point kick is up, and the kick is good. Time on the field. 7:06 to go in the game. Valley View 35 and Berwick 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Cougars of Valley View complete a 6-play, 44-yard scoring drive, a 1-yard touchdown run by Jonathan Boone, their quarterback, who's had a terrific night. Cam Chakotay with the extra point, 35-7. Cougars have made a statement here at Crispin Field tonight. 7:06 still to go. Chakotay set to kick it off, but Frank Sheptock said that be the first dual threat quarterback really that Bulldogs have faced, that Boone has come as advertised. Again, a running back and a safety last year. The kick drives Aiden Mason back to the 1-yard line. He reverses field to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and out to the 35-yard line. He is so fluid in the open field. Just the 9th grader, Aiden Mason. And Berwick will get it with 6:57 to go.
I'm going to have to talk to the officials about the rule as to what consider as a touchback. I guess the ball that fell fast across the front of that goal line.
Yeah, because his foot was in the end zone.
His feet were certainly in the end zone, but I guess the ball never got there. So they certainly know the rules well. If they're aware of the potential for such calls, they have it down.
1st and 10 for Berwick at their 35-yard line. Force out of the pistol. Slot to the right, slot to the left. Alex Force dumps the pass off to Blake Bauer on the far side. He's over the 40. He's over the 45. Bauer still on his feet over midfield. Good effort by the sophomore to the Valley View 47-yard line.
It was a wonderful effort. Little sideways pass. He catches it about 2-3 yards. And the run with this momentum, runs with courage, takes on tacklers. He spun around at about 15 yards and still doesn't go down, keeps fighting for yardage.
18 yards on the pass to Bauer. He did much of it on his own. 1st and 10 at the Valley View 47. Force looking long down the far side, has a man wide open, and the pass is overthrown. Jake Betts all by his lonesome at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, and Alex Force saw him and tried to get it on out there. It's a tough timing situation. He finally had time to throw and time to throw the deep ball, and Betts somehow put on a move where a man bit. And on the double move, he was deep about 8 yards beyond everyone, but they can't connect.
2nd and 10. Bulldogs from the Cougar 47. They're showing blitz. They come. Berwick beats it. Force rolls right, looking to throw. He's sacked way back at the 42-yard line, and that's the same man again, Trayon Jones. He is their sack master, and he got another one.
Looking at 3 sacks in a row suffered by Alex Force on my score sheet. He's tough. They know Berwick's going to pass. They want to put more pressure on him. He has the quickness to chase it.
And the thing about Jones, you don't expect a player that small to be coming after you on the line and applying pressure. And he's a short tackler. And he got Alex Force, who usually is very, very elusive. Now it's a 3rd down and 20, Berwick at their own 43-yard line. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Force looks to the sideline to get the play call. Maurer goes in motion. Straight ahead is the call to Owen Shoemaker. Gets over the 45 to the 46. Picks up about 3 on the play. 4th down and long coming for the Bulldogs.
Very safe call there as the pressure continues on Alex Force. They tried to run Shoemaker and hope he could break a play. Stretches his legs a little bit, but only gets a few.
And Berwick's going to go for it. The 4th and long from their own 46-yard line with 5:08 to play. Maurer in motion. Force fakes a toss to him. Steps up in the pocket. Throws into traffic. The ball is intercepted. Kurdick to the 40. To the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. Mark Kudrick with the interception. Kudrick has had some big plays in this game. He threw the touchdown pass to Boone earlier.
Well, you don't like to see interceptions. It looks bad on the numbers. 4th against Alex Force on the year. But an incomplete is worse field position. A sack is really worse field position. So on a 4th down desperation play, you do throw it on out there. Valley View in the area. We're going to see an illegal block of some sort, Jim, on the return. So we're going to see field position as if Berwick punted on 4th down. In fact, we're going to see field position a lot better for Berwick's defense than a punt would have attained.
Mark off back to the Valley View 20-yard line. That's where the Cougars will put it in play. They have the lead, 35-7, 4:52 remaining in this one.
First and 10 from Valley View from their point after the penalty.
Boone still in there as the quarterback gives off the left side. The carry by Zach Manchek, I believe. If I saw 23, check, Andy.
Yep. J.J. Snyder is the man who made the hit. Able to shuffle off his blocker and then one-on-one take on Manchek and bring him on down. Loss of a yard.
2nd down and 11 for the Cougars from their 19-yard line. You mentioned Berwick on the road at Hazleton next week. Valley View's home against the Western Wayne team. As the Cougars come to the line of scrimmage.
Manchik is the tailback, Jim.
He gets the call again. This time he has a little bit of room, and he gets out to the 24-yard line. Give him 5 on the play. Zach Manchek is a junior, 5'8", 180 pounds.
Blaine Cleaver coming from the other side. People seem to be standing around and watching him run and weave. Blaine Cleaver aims and comes and puts the shot on him. He's had a strong game.
Yeah, he usually does. And just a sophomore, I keep forgetting that. Keep thinking he's been around for a long time. He actually started to see considerable playing time in big games last year toward the end of the season. And he has picked up the pace to start this season.
6'2", 192 pounds, and still growing.
As Boone will keep it himself and gets over the 30, out to the 35-yard line.
Jarek Grosha coming in and making the tackle after the cornerback basically took a dive to avoid the hit.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure I have my starting quarterback in there with 3:11 to go and a 35-7 lead. He's pretty valuable.
I'll agree.
Does pick up the first down, 11 yards on the carry to add his impressive totals.
74 yards on the game, and of course the passing's been solid too, and the receiving touchdown.
From the 35-yard line, Boone gives straight ahead to the fullback, T.J. Noto, picks up a couple straight ahead as the clock continues to run.
Yeah, it looks like Valley View's content to go with pretty much of a vanilla offense, use a lot of the people who don't carry the ball a lot. I think Cordish has probably done 103 yards by my count on the game. Surprised to see Janasa Boone still in. And if he's going to hand it off, that's fine. If you're not as comfortable with your backup, but I'll often see people put in their reserves against Berwick.
2nd down and 7. Cougars from their 38-yard line. Call goes to Menchik off the left side, and he is brought down hard by J.J. Snyder.
J.J. Snyder came on up again, losing his man and taking on the man one-on-one with Blaine Cleaver, stepping into the A gap, seeing things, and angling out to the C gap to help in on the tackle.
Stay with us for the post-game show, and you'll have all the stats for you. And Raven Klein will bring you updated on the high school football scoreboard. This game running a little bit late, so we should have plenty of final scores to report to you. See how those Cougars of Hazleton made out. They were locked in a 28-28 tie with Delaware Valley last we heard.
Back-to-back games with Cougars.
Yeah, can't wait to talk to Mike Brennan and ask him what it was like to coach a 63-62 game. A couple weeks ago, if you didn't hear, Hazleton area lost to Williamsport 63-62. It was a delay of game on Valley View with 1:06 to go.
He's a good sport, Jim. You can phrase those questions a lot of ways, like, did you ever think you'd score 62 points and come out the loser? Mike Brennan, one of the finer gentlemen in high school football. Of course, he started at Nativity High School, worked his way to Mount Carmel, state championships on his resume.
Well, Berwick and Hazleton area will be in bad moods going into that game. Final score, Delaware Valley 42 and Hazleton area 31. As Valley View facing a 3rd down and long. And did they get Genesaw Boone out of there? No, he's still in there, but he's just handing off. The call goes over the right side. Again, it's Zach Manchak on the carry as we go under a minute remaining. So a tough night for the Bulldogs. They're going to have to regroup, get ready for a tough one on the road at Hazleton area next Friday. And again, Valley View still has to play Dallas, a team that is undefeated. Of course, Berwick has to face Dallas as well.
Blaine Cleaver on yet another tackle, Jim. I like the intensity he plays with.
As punting situation, Berwick has no returner in, and then Frank Sheptock signals for Antonio Barada to go back in that position.
He works on it in the pregame. I watch him catching punts. Very diligent worker.
They'll use up as much clock as they can. They'll take another 5-yard penalty with 3.3 seconds remaining. So Valley View really made a statement in this game tonight. They came into Crispin Field, battle of unbeatens, and they just took it to Berwick this evening. Convincing win for them. Obviously, the Bulldogs hurt themselves. 13 penalties, 159 yards in the game against the Bulldogs. But that offensive line for Valley View came as advertised. Dominated the line of scrimmage. As the kick far away from Barada, sails out of bounds to the far side. And what will be the final play of this game? The final score, Valley View 35 and Berwick 7. Tonight's Fairfield Chrysler G Dodge Berwick MVP is Blaine Cleaver, who played his heart out from that linebacker position in on a lot of plays for the Bulldogs this evening. At the end of the season, Blaine will receive a trophy from Wagner's Trophies and Engravables in Bloomsburg. Now you're listening to the post-game show brought to you by the law offices of Lutz and Petty and by your local State Farm agents, Lori Powell, Melissa Price, and Sean Black. We'll be back with that post-game show. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Hi, everyone. You can buy a new vehicle anywhere, but Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has won the prestigious Customer First Award 2 years in a row. Why? Because we have the best prices and the very best customer service in the area. During Ram Power Days, you can get over $15,000 in total values on select new 2018 Ram 1500s. You heard me right, over $15,000. Or lease a 4x4 Ram Express for just $149 a month. We are your Ram headquarters with over 100 Rams available. It's also Jeep Adventure Days, so you can save thousands on that new Jeep you've been thinking about. Lease a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $249 a month. The model year-end sale going on now at Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 2 locations, Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. And as always, it's Fairfield for the best deals.
Leases are for 24 and 36 months. $29.99 to assigning, 0 security deposit. Offer ends October 1st. See deal for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us. Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience for you or a loved one.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Convincing win by the Cougars of Valley View here at Crespin Field as they roll over Berwick by a final score of 35-7. Valley View scored on their second possession, capping a 7-play, 72-yard scoring drive on a 1-yard touchdown run by Mason Cordish. 2 big plays along the way. 34-yard pass completion on a flea flicker to Janasa Boone, to Jaden Duplessis, and a 33-yard run by Boone. Cam Chakotay kicked the extra point. Valley View led by a score of 7-0. They added to that lead late in the first quarter as Berwick continued to hurt themselves with penalties, helping Valley View to a 9-play, 58-yard drive. Boone this time a 20-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Hwanitz, who broke wide open over the middle. Chakotay again with the extra point. That came with 10.9 seconds to go in the quarter, extended the lead to 14-0 after 1 quarter. In the second quarter, Berwick was ready to cut the lead in half. In fact, at one point, Alex Force ran inside the 5-yard line. It was going to be a 1st and goal, Berwick around the 3, but a holding call brought it way back. The Bulldogs never got on the board, and Valley View did with 25.7 seconds to go in the half as Mark Kudrick got a toss from Janasa Boone. Boone then went outside left, caught a pass from Kudrick for the touchdown, capping a 6-play, 63-yard scoring drive, 12 yards in that touchdown play. Chakotay kicked the extra point. That came with just 25.7 seconds to go in the half, and it was a 21-0 Valley View lead at the break. Berwick had to get something going, and they did to start the second half. A 45-yard kick return by Tegan Wilk brought the ball to the Berwick 45-yard line, and that started an 11-yard, 55-yard scoring drive. Alex Force came up big along the way. 11 yards to Blake Maurer, 22 yards to Justin Robbins. Jared Groschick kicked the extra point, and Berwick was back in it. 7:12 to go in the third, trailing 21-7. The Bulldogs then needed their defense to come through. They did. It was a 3-and-out. Berwick got the football, got good field position, but again, penalties took them out of contention, and from that point on, Valley View dominated things On the first play of the fourth quarter, they capped a 7-play, 38-yard drive and an 11-yard touchdown run by Mason Cordish. 16-yard pass to Jaden Duplessis on 3rd and 11 from Jonathan Boone, who played a tremendous game. Chakotay with the extra point, extended the lead to 28-7. And then later in the fourth, Boone capped a 6-play, 44-yard drive on a 1-yard touchdown run. Chakotay with the extra point. That would be all the scoring in this one, as Valley View wins by a score of 35-7. Stats are on the way. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Custom-built LED signs, vehicle graphics, custom wraps, banners, screen printing, mugs, t-shirts, business signs, magnets, hats, embroidery, stand-ups, indoor signage, and custom car access. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Family-owned and operated since the turn of the century. All work is produced in-shop. DeFevo does not sell products that they do not make, and that equals quality control. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. On Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick at 7553 Columbia Boulevard, or online at DeFevoGraphics.com. And don't forget DeFevo's for yard signs during the upcoming political season.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Harry's Sporting Goods, a staple in downtown Berwick, in business for over 125 years. Harry's Sporting Goods carries a wide variety of sneakers and cleats, now featuring Brooks running shoes. Harry specializes in sneakers and seasonal sporting goods, but also carries work boots and name brands including Nike and Under Armour. Harry's Sporting Goods, keeping the tradition alive while keeping up in the new era. Visit them on Facebook or on West Front Street in Berwick. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Proud to support area sports teams.
No one gets married planning on getting divorced. What about the kids? What about child support? What about the grandparents? What about the divorce itself? The attorneys at Kreischer and Gregorovich will help you reach a positive agreement regarding divorce, child support, and custody. A legal staff of 4 attorneys, 4 decades of success. The attorneys at Kreischer and Gregorovich are dedicated to providing superior legal counsel to the families in central Pennsylvania. Call the law offices of Kreischer and Gregorovich today at 570-784-5211 and schedule your appointment.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Convincing win for Valley View tonight. They come into Crispin Field and beat Berwick 35-7. By the way, that Berwick touchdown to start the second half. 11 plays, 55 yards. Good passing by Alex Force and then Owen Shoemaker with the 7-yard touchdown run, his 9th of the season. That was the Berwick drive of the game. Make your drive at Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln. 35-7 the final. Stats in tonight's game, Andy Lickney.
Yeah, the stats don't reflect 35-7, Jim, except for the penalties, and that's going to be a killer, and that's going to take you out of ball games. Berwick was able to muster 223 yards in total offense. Valley View had the edge, that's for sure. They had the offensive line edge as well, as they proved to be dominant. They end up with 314 yards. So pushing a 100-yard difference in the total offense. Berwick on the ground, 141 yards. At halftime, they had 137. So only 4 yards rushing in the second half, and that's a little deceptive because Berwick was moving the ball with the running backs. The 3 sacks on Alex Force changes his numbers significantly. I have him as 10 of 11 passing with the interception on 4th down and 82 yards in the air. Let's look at the rushes for Berwick. Owen Shoemaker, who twisted an ankle before this one ended, but was able to come back. I have him with 72 yards on 13 carries. They were game planning with him in a number of different positions, lining up in slots, and I thought it was a very effective game plan, working him. The penalties just took them out of the game plan. Tegan Wilk with 2 carries for 13. Aiden Mason was pretty much the singleton back and running up inside most of the game. 7 carries for Aiden Mason for 54 yards, along with some nice returns. The team 2 carries for -6. And Alex Force, at one time, he was up to 40 yards prior to the half, but with the sacks, finishes with 11 carries for just 8 yards. 35 rushes in all, 141 yards. 10 completed passes in 13 attempts, plus the interception on 4th down for 82 yards. Alex Sharkuski had a 9-yard catch. Tegan Wilk, 3 for 17. Justin Robbins, a real nice 22-yard. He was able to break open. Blake Maurer with 4 catches for 34. 82 in the air, 141 on the ground for Berwick, a total of 223. Not bad in a tough game, but we calculated 12 penalties for 159 yards. If you take that off the 223, you can see there's just not much left. Or if you want to add it on to the 314 yards that Valley View mustered, a tremendous differential. Valley View, 38 rushes for 194, 8 of 11 passing for 120, a well-rounded 314 yards. On the ground, Mason Cordish was the man. Actually, his linemen were the men. They were moving Berwick off the football. He was taking advantage, hitting the holes well, and maximizing the runs. His line earns Mason Cordish 103 yards against Berwick on 19 carries. A nice talent. Treyon Jones, 1 carry in the first half for -2. TJ Noto carrying at the end of the game, 2 for 4 from his fullback position. Zach Manchik, 4 carries for 11. Dylan Hawanitz, the coach's son, had a tote early in the game for a yard. And Janasa Boone, the dual threat quarterback, his rushing numbers, I have him at 11 carries for 74 yards. His passing numbers, he was 7 of 10, no interceptions, 108 yards, but also given the pass for the team by Mark Kudrick. Kudrick threw Janessa Boone a pass, and Boone scored a 12-yard touchdown on that. The other receivers receiving the passes from Boone, Mason Cordish caught a 1-yarder. Jaden Duplessis caught 4 for 72. Dylan Hawanitz caught a 28-yard touchdown. And Zach Kowalczyk caught 1 for 7. 120 in the air, 194 on the ground, 314 for Valley View. Compare that to Berwick's 223. And again, factor in 12 penalties, 159 yards. Jim, I think Berwick would like a matchup. They'd like to see this one come again. Unfortunately, it'll probably be an away game because this is the one you had to win. I think they'd like to show this team, hey, we're not a team that's this bad. This was a poor performance by Berwick. Mistakes, we mentioned, is a key to the game, and they made just way too many.
They did indeed. Upcoming scores of other games. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickasha, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, Perfection in every detail.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the high school football scoreboard, all scores are final. Danville beats Central Columbia 35-21. Lewisburg beats Bloomsburg 35-7. Southern Columbia beats South Williamsport 54-20. Delaware Valley beats Hazleton Area 42-31. Dallas beats Coughlin 35-7. Selinsgrove beats Loyalsox 34-7. Mount Carmel beats Mifflinburg 35-0. Jersey Shore beats Shamokin 34-13. Tamaqua beats Pottsville 35-6. West Scranton beats Pittston Area 41-4.